And welcome to another episode of More Conversations with the Average Black Man. I am Timotheus, and this is my lovely co host, Morphine. And today we're going to tackle a very controversial topic, one that's been around for quite some time and has stirred a lot of emotions in both men and women and has been an issue in
That's
our
it.
society for quite some time,
Quite some time. Quite
going
some
all
time.
the way back to the 1960s with Margaret, what's her name, Margaret Sanger, and so on and so forth. But we can jump right on into it unless you want to go ahead and say your introductions.
Um, well, you already said it. Welcome to more conversations with the average black man. You know my co-host, the average black man. It should sound what's up with the clap?
Oh, my bad.
You want the clap?
There we go. Did it
What?
come through?
No, we didn't get no claps. We didn't get no clap.
My sound
See
ain't
how he
working.
do us viewers? He don't
So
get
my
no.
sound, so my soundboard is yeah.
Oh,
But
well, listen. This is my. We're gonna give him clap for being my co-host, and I am his co-host, Morphine the God. Not God, the God. GWAD. The God. I'm gonna change that. Change that, y'all. Like you said, today we're going to start talking about we diving deep into this abortion thing, man. I know it's a unpopular topic. It will be popular this year because we got a nice election coming up, presidential election coming up. So I'm sure it will be a topic. So we're just going to jump on it. We're going to our premise of this topic. Let's give y'all the reason why we're talking about this. This topic is brought to you by is it going against the rights, the civil rights of men?
right,
I'm
because
gonna just, I mean,
when you look at law,
or
no
just civil rights
law.
of the fetus.
So when you look at
One of-
law, I guess you can't hear my sound is going now.
No, we can hear you say when you look at the law.
Okay, when you look at the law says that no law can benefit one group of people. Every a law is supposed to benefit the entire society. So this is a law that was passed that only benefits women. It only it well, I won't say it only benefits. It's a right that's only given to women at the expense of men's rights to be fathers if they want to or not, or
Right,
whether or not they want to care for a child or not. That
right.
that right is taken away from them and given solely to women. But it takes two to make a baby, right?
It takes two. It takes two. But the life of the fetus and the life thereof, whether the fetus is born or non-born, is up to the mother. And if the father shall have a say or a thought that he wanted his baby, he has no rights to the fetus. Only the mother and the carrier do. So we're going to dive deep into these little situations. Why is my glasses coming off crooked? We're going to walk into these situations, and we're going to dive deep into it. All right, first, let's begin with the show's premise, which is in our description. So we like to read that for you guys. You know, we like to read that for you guys. Let me pull that for you. Pull that up for you.
Where you at?
I'm in the notes with it. I'm in the notes. Abortion, the law that goes against civil rights. Feminists made the claim that men have unfair advantage in the patriarchal society. Excuse me. Yet when you ask these women, what is it that men can do in society that women can't? They're unable to answer this question. On the other side, if you ask men, what can women do in society that men can, what women can't do in society that men can, men have a laundry list of what to say. Everything making everything from making false sexual assault accusations to the biggest one, control of whether the child is born or not. Okay?
Absolutely. 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 The enactment of the law, Senate and state bills, and joint resolutions, when passed, both of the houses in the identical form are passed by the president. They become public or private law. Public laws affect the nation as a whole, while private laws benefit individual or a class thereof. Due to the process clause of the 14th Amendment, projects against the state action to the right of privacy and a woman's right to choose to have an abortion falls within the right of privacy. Right. So you could right there is telling you right there that men don't have no say so on what happens to his skeet after it leaves his body. That's code. That's code. It's right there. What's the difference between the public law and the private law? The bills pertain to the matters that affect general and public or classes of citizens, while private bills just affect a certain individual and organizations. So
We're
if
gonna
there
say this one more again. Say that one more again, brother. Come on, bring it back one more again.
public
Say it with
bills
some enthusiasm, though.
public bills pertain to the matter that affect the general public or classes of citizen, while private bills affect just certain individuals and organizations. Right.
So is this bill public or private?
It is public, I believe.
It's a
Or is it
public.
private? Or is it
Is it?
private?
Yeah.
Let me thunder thumbs it real quick.
Let me thunder because that's a good question. We're gonna start right there and talk about that thing. If this law that is enforced that gives women the total control of their bodies and the fetus, well, mostly the fetus. If the law is a private bill, then it will only it does only affect a certain amount of people, and that will be the women, not the men. But if this law is public, then this situation is so false. Like, that's not fair because the men should be um included in this bill, which they're not. We gonna sing, you know. But it does say that the due to process clause of the 14th Amendment protects against the state action and a right to privacy. And a woman has a right to choose to have an abortion that falls within the right to privacy. So I figured that this was going to fall within this law. So what they did was they made this law not public and they made it private.
Right. The thing about that is that women's privacy is absolutely should be protected, but not at the expense of discriminating against men, which goes against the Civil Rights Act of 1960s, which is you cannot discriminate against a person because of their race, gender, religion, and so on, sexual identity, and so on.
That part.
So, how can a law to protect one person's privacy violate the another person's rights by discriminating against them?
Which is
That's
the civil law, the Civil Act.
right. The Civil Rights Act of the 1960s. Right.
Yeah.
And
We
Roe
just
v.
want to verify.
See, now that this the
Yeah.
thing though, the Civil Rights Act is a federal law. Roe versus Wade was a federal law. It is no longer federal. They have given the rights back to the individual states,
Absolutely.
which what I would presume is why it's become a private law again, because individual states have their right to say whether or not they want to enforce or even have this particular procedure be legal or illegal.
It's back to the state. It's not a federal law anymore. However, the 14th Amendment is a federal law. So even though here's the dynamic I want to paint out because this is not our opinion. This is just laying out these facts. Even though the 14th Amendment is protecting your rights, right? it goes, they use this abortion thing as a little slippery slope because they use the 14th Amendment, but however, it offends and violates the Civil Act Amendment, the Civil Act bill, because that's not an amendment, that's a bill. Difference. We bring up the difference between an amendment and a bill, and how that gravitates, how the law loves to fuck with you with that. The law loves to fuck with you with amendments and bills and shit. Like they don't like conflict with each other a little bit. But come on, let's dive a little bit deeper in these notes. We got what the difference between public and private law. Public bills pertain to the matter affects the general public. So hey, I'm happy we have this on there. Somebody thought to do the difference between. So a bill pertains to the matter of a general public or class citizens, where private bills are affecting of the citizens and the organizations within. These are bills. This has shit to do with an amendment. Amendment is for everybody. All right, let's go down to My Body, My Choice, 1950 to the 1960s. The Pill, Margaret Sanger,
Singer.
Sanger, like the sewing machine, y'all.
Like she can sing. She a singer.
For the women that's watching, like the sewing machine, Sanger. It's spelled the same way. All right. Devoted her life to legalize birth control and making it universally available. Not universally, universal, like universal. Like she wanted to make it available to every fucking body. Okay. And a generation earlier, Margaret and Catherine McCormick,
McCormick. The
the
mothers of
mothers
steel.
of the pill, had insisted that female control of the contraceptive was nothing less than a preconditioned and emancipation of women. So that means it was very freaking important for us to control how we can take this pill, whether we could take it, whether we don't take it, who can take it, whether it's for married women or not for married women. Because when they got this pill, they was just trying to give this to married women and only married women. So Singer was like, "Nah, man, y'all should get this to all women, not just the married ones." Because hey, I'm a point that out in my own opinion. That's weird. Why would you even offer this shit to married women?
But see, this the
Anyway,
thing though. It says that it's for the emancipation of women, but then it goes on to say since women
disproportionately.
disproportionately bore children, duh, how is that disproportionate?
It said the board the it said board children board
Burden of
the
pregnancy.
burden of
It's the same thing.
pregnancy and
It's the
child
same thing.
rearing. Look, look,
Same
look,
thing.
look.
Same thing.
The
Bore the
pregnancy and
fantasy of
child
pregnancy.
rearing
Only women
at
can
that
get
time.
pregnant. Only
At that
female.
time,
Only females get pregnant.
right? But not only females control child rearing right now. So
Right. And that's the
times have
thing.
changed.
And
Times have
that's the
changed.
whole point I'm getting at is that everything that's in here is relative to the time of which it was done.
Right, that
You
it
know,
was made.
right.
Not now, though. Not too much now, because we can't say that the bore of pregnancy is still on a woman to this day. That's just that.
That's just
But the
nature.
child rearing part is it can be shared. Men can rear their own kids by themselves now, and statistics says that men do a better job. That's what the statistics says, people. That's what the statistics says. Don't say nothing to me. That's what the statistics says. You know what the statistics says. All right, so going on. Backlash against the pill after a decade on the market. The wonder drug that had been launched by women as liberating. It was say that word. My mouth, huh? Yes, liberating. Thank you. My mouth went there. That was launched for women as liberating and revolutionary came under attack by feminists. Oh, wow. So the backlash of the pill came under attack by Feminist. Senate's hearing in 1970 brought health risks to the pills. It was major health risks. Many women were furious. Feminists now saw the pill as a example of the patriarchal control over women's lives. Women delusionment, delusionment. It's a basically saying women delusional with the pill fed into the new feminist critique of American society. Women started asking questions such as, why should birth control be women's responsibility? Why do men control the medicine? Why do men control the medical profession and pharmaceutical industry? Do women health interests suffer as a result? For the growing number of women, the pill was proof positive that it was personal, but it became political. Okay. Wow. So women said, I'm going to give you a pill that gives you total control of your own damn destiny. And the feminist movement fought against it.
That makes
How
sense, though.
special was that?
That makes perfect sense because the definition of feminism is equal rights for the genders. So,
Uh-huh.
they understood that it was giving women the right to choose something, and men not. A man may want a child, and he
That's
could
not
be.
what they said.
But no, look, let me break it down, because a man could have him and his wife could be a whole married couple, and he's thinking they're trying to have a child. They getting busy every night, and he's all skeet 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 to the windows, to the walls. But that man does not know that that woman is on the pill, because the law says she don't have to tell him because of the privacy law. So this man is actively trying to be a father. He thinking something wrong with him because she not getting pregnant. He going to the doctor getting his sperm count. He thinks something wrong with him. He think he's sick. He think he the problem. And the whole time she like, he don't know I'm on the pill. He don't know I'm on the pill. Because I don't want to have a baby, even though my husband does. My husband wants to have a child. This ain't her boyfriend. This ain't a dude she just smashing. This is her
That's why
whole.
I
It's her
said
whole.
it was weird that at one particular time when they made the pill, the powers that be wanted to only give it to married women. You know, I thought that was weird, more so giving it to women, single women, women that don't have children. I thought that was a weird market strategy. That was a very weird market strategy. Or there were men, oh, but we do have to put historical facts in there. Historically, women at that time was having, I think, 6 to 8 kids in their marriages. So there is that versus single women. Single women wasn't having 6 to 8 kids. The married woman was, because they wasn't on birth control. Every time they did a deuce in them, they was pregnant. So imagine having kids at the average rate. The average marriage rate back then was like what, 21, 22? Shit. But I understand people think it was 13, 14, 16. No, if you want to go back in their books, it was 21, 22. So that was the average marriage rate. So you having a baby since you were 22 all the way to what, 40 something? That's a lot of kids every year, every 9 months. So, they wanted to pump that to them. All right. So when somebody in a comment says something about the abortion, the start of the abortion rights conflict started in the 1900s. Acceptance of the early term abortion changed during the 19th century as Victorian sensibilities took hold. By 1910, abortion, except in the cases to save the mother life, was a criminal procedure in every state except Kentucky, where the courts declared the procedure to be good Lord, why the fudge can I say these words today? Timothy is help a bitch. No, you on mute, brother. Mute. Mute.
Judicially illegal.
I heard
The
traditionally
new
illegal.
restrictions on
There you go.
abortion were caused by many factors, including change in social, class, and family dynamics in the early 20th century. Americans in the Victorian era thought abortion was a problem brought on by upper class white women who were choosing to start their families later and limit their size. Increased female independence was also perceived as a threat to male power and the patriarchy, especially as Victorian women increasingly volunteered outside of the home for religious and charitable causes. So that brings us to this right here. Me personally, well, I'm gonna pull it up first before I give my opinion on it. All right, you on mute, sister. Now you're on mute.
I'm sorry. I was trying to read the dang it. Jesus, everything is doing everything right now but what I needed to do. Give me a second. Go ahead.
Okay, so
I
in the
wanted to examine a Victoria area. Like, what era was that? Basically, I think it was saying that was during like the women's sexual liberation area where they started examining sex, gender roles and stuff. What the hell? Go ahead though.
I'm pulling up the Victorian era was 1820 through 1914.
Yeah. Okay, it examines the. I'm sorry. It examines the dynamic changes in male female relationships, family structure, sex, social customs, and rituals that occurred as colonial Americans was transformed by the industrialization of that time.
Right. So in the 1930s, death tolls from illegal, unsafe abortions, the criminalization of abortion sent the practice underground, which resulted in a high death toll. Unsafe abortion was the cause of death for nearly 2,700 women in the year 1930. Amongst one of every five, 18% of recorded maternal deaths that year, according to the Guttmacher Institute. I still see this as the discrimination part. This is still women saying, I don't care what my husband has to say. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
have this baby. I'm going to go sneak, if I got to go underground and kill this baby, and then that's what I'm going to do. If I got to go underground and get the procedure done. So it's still them enacting a right of I don't care what my husband has to say, even though he has a right to be a father. He's my husband. This baby, what about the baby's rights? Ooh, this baby didn't ask y'all to smash and skeet skeet and without protection. So you see what I'm saying? So there it is again. That's another. It's still, in my opinion, it's women saying that I don't care what the man has to think. I can do what I want. I can do what I want. This baby don't got no say so, and my husband don't got no say so. I'm gonna do what I want to do, even if it costs me my life. And so many women were dying that Congress had to go ahead and say, you know what, we can't let women die. So therefore, Planned Parenthood became a federal thing. In response to increasingly and alarming media coverage of unsafe illegal abortions, Planned
Well,
Parenthood.
wait a minute, Timothy. You gotta elaborate on these things. Who- 19 can we elaborate on the 1930s deaths of illegal unsafe abortions?
Well, it's kind of plain as day there. And in the year 1930, 2,700 women died from getting the procedure done underground. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the good old coat hanger,
Mm-hmm.
good old coat hanger thing. And that year, it was 18% of all maternal deaths that year. So that meant less women died in childbirth than they did getting the procedure done.
Mm-hmm. Okay, come on, let's go down.
Right.
Let's go down. Let's go
So
down.
continuing on to the legalization of the procedure, in response to an increasingly and alarming amount of media coverage of unsafe illegal procedures, Planned Parenthood had its first of a kind conference on the issue of the procedure. The doctors who attended the national conference on the procedure, made a bold move to publicly call the procedure reform.
A law reform.
Yeah, they called for a law reform. They wanted the law to be reformed so that way these women would not have to get the procedure done underground. And uh, to protect the lives of these women, I dig that. I dig that.
To protect the life because they was going to do it regardless. Now I'm going to examine the next one. We're going to give our opinions. Right now we're not giving our opinions. We just examining and you know going with the facts. In the late 1950s and the early 60s, thousands of women, pregnant women, took the drug called Taliandine. What the fudge,
I can't say that either. Th-
bruh?
Thalia-
That
Thalia-
Thalia,
Thalidomide or Thalidomide.
Thaliamide,
Uh,
Thalidomide.
that word right there at the top.
that
That word.
word right there. We're going to say they took this drug, right? Called that to ease the pregnancy systems. Like, look, they took it to ease women take prenatal prenatal vitamins to ease vomiting and things like that. They took this. The problem was found to cause severe birth defects. In 1962, a pregnant TV host investigated the drug, could not obtain a legal abortion in the state of
No,
in United States.
she ingested it. She took it. And
I'm sorry. She ingested it. I thought
yeah,
she ingested it. She cannot obtain a legal abortion. The media tracked their journey to get an abortion in Sweden. The 52% of America supported her because she went all the way to Sweden to get this damn abortion because she couldn't get it in America, so she had to leave this month. The drug fell out, brought a greater support of the abortion law reform. So they got the support because of a birth defect. So instead of living and having a child with a birth defect, they wanted to kill it on some Nazi shit. I'm sorry, Facebook, for saying that. I mean, Facebook and YouTube. I'm sorry. But y'all know that's what that is. All right. 1962 Association from the Association for the Study of Abortion, ASA. In 1964, abortion law reforms activists registered their first national group, the Association for the Study of Abortion. Planned Parenthood joined the doctors and the lay people leading this journey to reform this law that never fucking was on the books, bro. Like to never mind you, there was no such law, but they want to reform it. There was no such law, but they want to reform it. Okay. And strategy to move this abortion, right? I mean, procedure. I'm sorry. The members, they got it federalized somehow, some way. They made it a medical necessity. So what made it so, made thing go through because it's a medical necessity. Like, listen, what happened if there's a defect that we can't save the mom? I mean, we can't save the fetus, but we can save the mom. Like, what happened if, she get raped? Do she gotta have the fetus? Yeah, we're gonna have exception for that. Okay. Let's throw something else in there. What happened if she get a procedure that's illegal under the table and we gotta save her life from that? We could have just gave that to her. She didn't even have to go there. So those three reasons is why they legalized these situations. Through the mid 19th century, America's physicians also began a battle. Irregular doctors such as midwives, an attempt to assert their authority and legitimacy of the male-dominated scientific medicine. They tried to tackle these irregular doctors. The scientific physicians attacked legal abortions because it was the midwives and unscientific medical procedures who safely performed the procedure. White, ooh, listen, I ain't saying it, but that's what the thing said. It said Caucasian men were also concerned by the shift of ethnic racial dynamics in the United States, worrying that the low birth rate of the Caucasian upper class would lead to inferior and un-American immigrants overruling the country. Overrunning the country. Together, a coalition of male doctors backed the American Medical Association, the Catholic Church, the sensationalist newspapers began to campaign for the criminalization of the procedure that we're talking about of today. Tell me you on mute.
I was giving you the floor while you read it. I was just giving you the floor. But yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms. That's could be a whole nother show as far as whether or not there was racist intent behind the legalization of this procedure.
I mean, like I said, during the 19th century, American physicians also began another battle of irregular doctors. All the housewives, all the women that have been given births years on end at home, births, shoot, you name it. The physicians, the doctors, was battling them, telling them you're uncertified for these procedures. You shouldn't be doing this. And a lot of the physicians was under legal attack for abortions from the midwives because they was like, "Why was you doing this? Like, what the hell?" However, because a lot of these see what they're not saying. Let me put this down. Let me put this down. What they're not saying, y'all, a lot of these procedures that women were dying from wasn't black women. They were their women, and they were dying from this. And they was like, "Yo, listen, I understand what you want, but if we legalize this, our birth rate's already down. It's gonna be super down. So we ain't for it." All right. We ain't gonna dive too deep into that because we don't want to get flagged by YouTube.
Right.
All right. Do I have to tell my partner I want the procedure? This
The
is from
law
a
says
woman.
no.
This is from a woman cares medical center. Telling your partner you're pregnant and that you want the procedure can feel daunting, but it's important that you're considering the decision. Even though legally you're not required to get your partner's consent before the procedure, you may consider hearing their thoughts beforehand. In this blog, we will give y'all some practical ways to share your nudes with your partner if you decide to do so or then. The clause was put under the premise as safety, as to suggest that men are innately violent. How this is totally fucking discriminatory. Discriminatory. I'm going to say it with the fucking. It's just a fucking discriminatory shit to say. Like, how you going to know they're going to be innately violent if you tell them you want to kill their baby? I mean, would you be innately violent if somebody told you they was going to kill your baby? Is that a little deflection going on? Women know what they were saying when they were saying this. Anyway, going on. This meme right here is showing you how men are villainized for conceiving a woman to
Convincing.
convincing
Convincing
a woman.
women.
I already seen it as soon as I started reading the rest of this sentence. For convincing a woman to get abortion. He's villainized for saying, if you want to do it, baby, it's your body, it's your choice, and I can't stop you from doing this. But if this is what you really want to do, baby, by all means, go on here into this clinic and I'm going to support your decision. But yet, under the law, women do not have to tell the father that she's pregnant before terminating the pregnancy. This is a completely reprieve from women. Reprieve, reprieve,
Reprieve. Reprieve.
reprieve. This is completely reprieve from women of having to do the same actions that that's in this meme right here. I'll be right back, y'all.
Right. It's 100% a reprieve for women. It's and it pretty much shows like when you pull up the stats, and we didn't want to go that deep into that, but like she mentioned earlier, we didn't want YouTube to go crazy and be like, "Ah, give me your video." But the stats show that more than 52% of women that get the procedure done are traditionally have been in their 20s. So what that me as a man, what that sounds like to me is, girl, you not ready to be a mom. This is something that's gonna change your whole life. You made a you made a mistake. So we're not gonna punish you, girl, for letting you for this one little mistake that you did. You went out. Let me paint the neo love example. Two people in their 20s go out to a nightclub. They get they getting have throwing the drinks back. They having fun. They dancing. They vibing. She's smelling his pheromones. He's smelling her pheromones. They they both leave the club and go to the hotel. And both of them, the man and the woman, equally are sexually irresponsible. They feeling themselves, they loaded, they brought dawn and buried it. It's all skeeting to the windows, to the walls. Now, time passes. This woman misses her cycle. She finds out she's with child. She can, like I said, the whole thing can come together. Her mom, aunties, whoever her support group is, girl, this is just a mistake. You don't even know him. You don't know what kind of man he is. Da 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 da. B, you're not gonna let this ruin your whole life, girl. Let's go erase this issue so you ain't got to deal with it. Now, where it becomes discriminatory is that man don't have that same option. That same man that was equally, emphasis on equally irresponsible together with that woman, he cannot have a group of men, a support group say, oh, you know what, brother, yeah, this was a mistake. You was young, y'all was drunk, but this is gonna ruin your whole life. Let's go to the court and set it up to where you don't have to be responsible for this child.
All right, I'm back. I'm back.
That don't happen for men. That's not a thing for men.
So where are we at on the list? I'm sorry.
I'm just still breaking down. I just gave it an example of how it's discriminatory. I basically was saying, long story short, that because the statistics show that 20-year-old women make up 52% of the people that get the procedure done. So
Mm-hmm.
if two youngsters go to the club, they getting tipsy, they throwing drinks back, they on the club floor dancing, they bumping and grinding, she's smelling his pheromones, he's smelling her pheromones. They leave the club, they get a room, and together both of them are irresponsible. They,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, baby, I like it raw, to the windows, to the walls, all skeet. That woman, uh, as time goes on, she misses her cycle, find out she's with child. She can her support group can say, girl, you only 22 years old, girl. You're not ready for this. You in college. This is gonna mess up your whole life, girl. Let's go get this procedure done so you don't gotta we don't have to let this one mistake ruin your whole life.
Right.
That it's discriminatory because that man can't do the same thing. He can't say, "Oh, the girl. Remember that chick I met at the club? He go meet with his support crew of men. Remember that girl I met at the club? Oh yeah, I got her pregnant." They can't say, "Oh man, you only 22 years old, man. You still in college. We can't let this one mistake ruin your life. Let's go down to the court and fill out some paperwork that say you don't have to be responsible for this child. That don't
Right.
exist. That don't exist. He can't.
At all.
He cannot erase his mistake, but she can. That's 100% discriminatory.
And when anytime she could She could give up her rights to the state. I'm sorry, y'all. I just ran up 2 flights of steps. She could give her rights up to the state. She can abort. She can terminate the fetus, and she could also leave the baby like at a hospital or um, fire station. Oh, in a church, and without any legal repercussions at all. But men are held for child abandonment. They also held financially responsible for the baby. And I think it's a little like sinister situation with that. Like I will say that. I think it's a sinister situation with that. I think it's that way because hold on, wait. It's not about our opinions yet. But it's a sinister situation. Yeah, I mean, we almost through these notes, so we at the last part where we start giving our opinions. But um, it's a little section that we got on our notes that we want to talk about. It says after the procedure was made a criminal offense at the
The
close
close
of
of
the return
Victorian.
the Victorian area, it would not become legal again until 1973, when the landmark Roe versus Wade Supreme Court ruling declared that all women had the right to terminate a pregnancy until the fetus was viable outside the viable outside the womb. Roe versus Wade. Wade recognized that the decision whether to continue or end a pregnancy belongs to the individual, not the government. Roe held that as the specific
Yeah,
guarantee of liberty in the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which protects individual privacy, include the right to
terminate
terminate prior to the fetal um
validity,
validity. That's what
viability. I'm sorry,
yeah, that's viability.
yeah, viability.
Yeah, like
My
come on.
bad. I've been hanging around you too long.
It's like viability. I'm like, that's viability. Yeah, that's viability. I'm like, that's a weird one. Uh, so they, yeah, like I said, they used the 14th, like I said in the beginning, they used the 14th Amendment to pass this law for it to be private, because if when it was left public, it left the government to decide whether this could be could be done or no, whether it could be lawful or not. But once you made this ish private, it's only inclusive to the small group of people. It's not inclusive to anybody else but that small group of people. And I said that in the beginning. I was like, now we know what a bill is. A bill is for the public, but if they riding on the 14th Amendment, then this ish becomes private, and it won't have no legality for anything outside of that private individual. So they really, I mean, F y'all with this bill, bro. Like, they hit you with the bill in the amendment. Like, like that's crazy. Opinion. Timothy,
Huh?
what's
What,
your
what,
opinion? We're giving our opinions now, and then we're
well,
going.
well, my opinion's been the same from the jump. I 100,000% call it male bias or whatever. I believe the law is discriminatory against men. It gives this law, even though it's now that it is no longer federal and it's state to state, in said states where it is legal to have this procedure done, men are not giving the same exact right as women are. Women are given a parachute, like I said it when I gave the neo love story, the neo love example of the going to the club, two people being individually, not individually, I'm sorry, together. These two individuals are being irresponsible sexually. He didn't strap it up. She's not on the pill or nothing. She don't have a diaphragm. That's for the old people. She don't got a diaphragm. She don't got a Nuva ring or whatever the depot shot. What is it? I don't what is it?
Then the Marina, she don't got Marina. She don't got
What's
the
the
depot
what's the
shot.
what's the ED,
She
the
don't got the
LED,
pill. She don't got
LED, IED?
Marina. That's Marina. The IUD. She don't have
Okay.
no form. Because IUD do have. Let me get on camera. IUD do have a form of natural birth control where women that are scared of chemicals going in their body. There is a natural form of one, and you could try that, honey, with no excuse. You don't got no excuses.
Right. And the thing about it is that men only have what 5 or 6 forms of birth control, while women have like 42. So
Hmm.
that's not me saying that it's more on women than it is on men. I'm saying that there are there are uh, procedures and precautions that can be taken on both sides. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, it's discriminatory. If two 22-year-olds go to a nightclub on the weekend and while they on spring break from college, they both in college, they smash, she becomes with child, she can say and go amongst her friends and her mom or whoever her support system is and say, girl, this is not what you need to do right now. You need to focus on school. Don't let this one mistake ruin your whole life. Boom, done. He can't go to his dad, his uncles, or his support system and say, don't let this one mistake ruin your life. We finna go make it to where you don't have to take care of this child if this woman decides she wants to keep it. That is cut and dry discrimination. Cut and dry.
I'm trying to wait till my background get a little bit clearer. Outside is outside.
I didn't hear what she said, sis. She said, "Oh, there was noise outside. I heard the fire truck." But absolutely, this is. I don't. Wouldn't say that it's
All right, it's
more on. I wouldn't say that it's more on women because they have more options. That just means they have more options. That doesn't mean men don't have any options. That just means women have more options. So the fact that they have more options means they can decide the best method for them. See, in our methods for men, the one that's most invasive is surgery.
right.
It is vasectomy. that's one of our options. Vas- Vasectomy is one of our options. So for them, it is absolutely dangerous. I cannot negate the fact that putting chemicals in your body is dangerous, especially when they have long-term effects that can be anything that includes being sterile. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? So I can't negate that there's risks. The risks for them is higher, which is why they have more options. They have we ours are non-chemical options, which are uh, condoms, um, abstinence, uh, uh, this new thing I learned called intersex. You hip to intersex? I mean
What
outer.
the hell is
I'm sorry.
intersex?
I'm sorry. Outer sex. Outer sex.
What?
It's well.
Oral sex?
It's. I'm sorry. I said it wrong again. We know what intercourse is. There is outer course. Outer course is any sexual action that men and women do outside of the vaginal canal.
Well, you learn something every day. I'm saying you learn something every day.
So going inside the the booty hole brown is outer course. Um, or,
Outside.
fellatio is outer course. Those type of things. Masturbation, that's all of that's outer course. Dry humping is outer course. Absolutely, that type of stuff. So
Again, you learn something every day.
but that's my opinion. Yours?
Okay. My
And
opinion is this.
go ahead because I got to refresh my drink. Hold on. So
Yeah, so okay. All right, well, my opinion is this, people. I know, I know. It sounds that's for the view. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, that when he said it, I was like, what that means? Um, my opinion is this: based off all the information that was given to me, I was very flabbergasted that no to learn that feminists fought the bill first. Like of all things to fight, why would you fight that bill? This bill for you. So that's how you know feminists will fight for anything that's stupid. Anyway, that was one of the things that was like, damn. But I did point out that I kind of felt like this law was very private and not public. Like soon as we started reading through the things and the notes and we started getting through these things, man, and we started getting to the nitty-gritty, I was like, this sounds private. This sounds like a private bill. And they're about to use the amendment to fuck you. I'm just gonna say it because I don't know how to say it. This my platform, so I'm gonna say it. They're gonna use the amendment to fuck you, and they're gonna fuck you raw with this shit because it protects the individual's privacy, and it ain't about you. Now I wonder. Here's my thought. I wonder can men use that same bill to protect their own privacy? Hmm. Can you use that same bill to protect your privacy of your body? I, I,
That's a good one.
yeah.
Now look. Privacy, right? She don't.
Privacy,
She
right?
can't look.
Like,
She can't write your name on that birth certificate because you got the right to privacy.
cause
There, I
you
like
got the
that. I
right.
like
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, I mean, I wonder can they use that and for their self leverage? Cause since the women used it, was good for the goose, is good for the gander, right? Um, y'all should have thought of this. Y'all did y'all read this law when y'all was sitting out there bitching about how come she get to have my body, my rights? Did you not read the part that you could get some rights too? You ain't. That's what the fuck you get. Anyway, moving on. Um, moving on. I think it's very, very unfair. I don't think it go against your human rights. I just don't think men ever thought about it in that way until it started going against your pockets. And that's when it started to be in a situation. You ain't think about your human rights. You start thinking about your right to protect your bank account, which I would say so did the courts. So the courts thought the same thing. The court was just like, he don't care about where he's leaving his seat at, but I know what he do care about. I know he care about them pockets. So they started attacking your pockets, man. But I do think it's very, very alarming that feminists support this bill at first, but they fought it not for the rights of men, but for themselves. Like the only reason why you want this to be passed is so you can have more control over my body because most of y'all that's doing this procedure is men. Women ain't doing this. I'm like, girl, do you want it or not, shorty? Like, you want to die trying to do this on your own, or do you want these dudes' help? Because clearly these chicks is killing you. The fuck? You so pressed to have a woman help you, be a woman physician. There's women out here killing your ass. But that's my opinion. We're opening up the lines for the viewers that are watching. Do you have an opinion on this topic? I'm gonna put it at the bottom. I'm gonna scroll it across. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna scroll it across. I'm putting it on the ticker.
I don't know where I put it in the comments that are linked to the three main platforms: the Morphine page, the Average Black Man Show group, and on the More Conversations with the Black Man Facebook. I mean, YouTube. YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube.
Are
Click the
you?
link, go through the prompts, and come on up, and we can have this conversation.
Did you drop it in the back chat too, sir?
No, I dropped it in the back chat. Yeah.
Yeah, do that, do that. Well, you know when to do when if you want to see me. You
Hello,
know.
Miss Fields. Hello, Miss Fields. Jess, how you doing?
Good evening, my brother and sister. How are you?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I can't see who's up there. I'm over here dropping links, but I will get to
Brother
you in
Paul.
this.
Thank you, Brother Paul.
Hi, Paul.
What's
What's up,
up?
brother
What's good?
Paul? Glad to have
What's
you up
good,
here.
y'all? Well, um, damn, I'm hearing an echo.
That's Miss Phil's. She have a
I'll
little feedback going on.
be right back, man.
Y'all know, me personally, this goes into who, being responsible for getting pregnant in the first place. In my personal opinion, I don't care what no one says. As a man, I know when we're young, we do reckless shit, and when we do reckless things, you just got to deal with it, whether you like it or not. Consequences are consequences. Nobody, you say, "Oh, I was drunk driving. I'm young. Give me a reprieve." Don't happen that way. You know what I'm saying? So if
Mm.
you out here having reckless sex and you getting broads pregnant, and you're really saying, "Well, that's on her," well, bro, I have no empathy for a dude that's out here having unprotected sex, or at least doing his due diligence to not get a chick pregnant, because they'll come up with all this stealing sperm. Some of you broke niggas ain't work. Sorry,
I mean,
some of y'all ain't.
you on our
Okay,
joint.
I
So
didn't
don't
want to
you
get
think?
y'all flagged for saying it, but some of these broke ass motherfuckers ain't even worth having their sperm stolen. So using that argument, get the hell up out of here, dog. But my thing is, it's your seed, bro. Why is you dropping it in any and every broad and then crying about it? Stop dropping your seed every fucking way. That's you. You know what I mean? That's your ancestry. That's your DNA. You just passing out and then denying it. So with this whole whether men have the right thing, I think when it comes to couples and people who are married and there's health reasons and all that, sure. But as far as you just messing with some broad, do you have a right to say, well, no, I don't want her to have my baby? Well, you shouldn't have put your dick in it. Keep your dick in your pants. That's just how I feel about it. I'm not, that's where I am. So as far
And
as
that
men, I don't really have a whole lot to say other than, dude, you don't want to be in that situation, wear a condom. Do the best you can to protect yourself. But understand there's consequences for every action. They just simply are, period.
did you hear the neo love example that I gave earlier, Paul?
Uh, I think we've had that the conversation before, but yeah, I heard some of it. But yeah, again, if we're talking about young adults being reckless and that's what they do, um, and whether it's the woman's body that is carrying that seed, that child. If you had not nutted up in her, you wouldn't even have this issue.
But so
That's my point.
do you think it's fair that if two college students on spring break, they both go to the same Yale Law, they both in the process of being lawyers, excellent career, and they go out to a nightclub, they meet each other, they drinking, they having a good time, they bumping and grinding on each other on the dance floor, they leave the club and go to the no-tail motel Holiday Inn, they get it in, they're both equally reckless. She
Hmm.
and with weeks go by, she missed her cycle. She goes to her group of friends, and her mom, aunties, and her women, whatever her support group is.
Yeah,
They,
yeah,
they
I
can,
heard that.
yeah, they can tell her, don't throw your life away for this one mistake. And boom. But the man, if she decides to keep it, the man can't be with his group of his support group and say, "Don't throw your life away over this mistake." He don't have that option. It's discriminatory. It's something it's in
No,
favor
it's not.
of the
I
side.
disagree. I disagree. It's not discriminatory because number one, I'm gonna say again, dude, you know the consequences. You know there's a possibility she could become pregnant. And I say, if you know that as a human young adult and you're being reckless, don't think now all of a sudden, okay, yeah, I made a mistake. Can I get out? No, deal with it. You don't get that. Now, women get it through a legal means of whether abortion is legalized. Now, if that would have stayed off the books and nobody addressed abortions and people were doing it under the cover and the government don't care and other, you know, that's something that would just be. That's just the way of the world for me because that's her body, right? That is her. She has to carry that, or it could kill her. She don't want to carry it. You don't even want the baby, or what? You want the baby, but you don't want the woman. See, we're not thinking. I mean, it's the scheme is much bigger, and people are just like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. No, you don't want no baby. Do your due diligence not to get the broad pregnant. But we're gonna be human. We're gonna do stupid things. Guess what? I say, deal with the consequences. Plain and simple. That's where I'm gonna stand. I'm not moving from that, bro. I'm not trying to be argumentative with you, but even with that example, bro, deal with the consequences. Period. I don't know what to say.
Other people.
W-
So I'd
Welcome,
like
Maurice. Hang on, real quick, guys. Welcome, Maurice, brother Vinny. Haha, Vinny.
What's
And,
up,
and, and,
Vin? What's up,
and,
Maurice?
and Zuzu,
Welcome, Zoo.
Hey, y'all. Hey, already, man. Hey, shalom, family.
Shalom, brother.
Hey, Vinny. I had to look at your name twice, brother. You got my baby father last name. I'm like, hold on, wait.
How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, Facebook user.
hey, Facebook user.
What's the bid?
What's the biz? What's the biz? Go ahead, Mrs. Phil.
I was just gonna add that when I was a youth counselor, I did emphasize more on the young ladies as far as
Okay, gotcha.
protecting themselves first and foremost. Because at the end of the day, we all know that if you get pregnant and the man decides that he does not want to have a family or be with you, you're going to be stuck with the burden of raising that child by yourself with a couple of $100 a month of child support. So I did put more emphasis on the younger ladies as far as protecting themselves. But I also made an emphasis to young men as I don't know who just said that, but it was Paul. Where if you don't want to find yourself in a financial bind for the next 18 years, that you also need to protect yourself. And so, for example, one of the things that I would tell the young men is I don't give a damn if her uterus is on a nightstand in a petri jar. You still wrap up so that way you ensure that you're protecting yourself. So it does come down to dual protection.
Mm.
Now, as far as abortion, I am very pro life. I'm also very pro mind my business when it comes to other people's wombs because I'm not going to come and take care of your kid. So, whatever you decide to do is what you decide to do. But I just don't really agree with like abortion in that aspect. I don't agree with it more or less when it comes to like you're literally using that as a form of birth control. Okay, maybe one oops, I can dig that. But like if you got like 3 and 4 abortions under your belt, I can't respect that.
Can I say something?
Yep.
Yeah, now with that said, I'm still waiting on somebody to be like, look, girl or woman, you ain't gotta always open your legs every time.
Yeah, self-control is the best.
Yeah,
Is the best contraceptive that you can use.
exactly.
And
I don't know why it's always about well, with the men, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Hey, look, girls, just close your fucking legs and stop letting niggas fuck you. That's it. Oh, my bad. I don't, my bad about the language.
okay,
Oh, let me.
my thing is this. Um, so I've been paying attention to everything you guys are saying. My thing is this. Uh, responsibility does fall on both human beings, but like I was saying on this thing, if there's 45 different forms of contraceptive for a person to take, then that means that that person is literally the one who is being looked at. Like that's the one. Like if I go and get a female pregnant right now, they're gonna say, "Well, bro, you have 5 or 6 different forms of contraceptive that you can use." And mentioning that, you can't negate that she has 45 different forms of contraceptive to use. So that means that that person is really being held responsible. She does not have to bring a baby into this world, right? No one does. I don't have to go and drop off any sperm anywhere, and she doesn't have to share an egg with me. But that's the point that he's making. Is like you got to close your legs too. It's
Right, 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 right.
the only time I see it, abortion, because I don't fuck with abortion. I don't agree with that shit either. But my thing is, uh, there's a lot of people throughout history who have, and there's a lot of women throughout history who have experienced rape, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying. Those are the times in where you can't you just shut the hell up and let that woman, make that choice. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
man forced himself on her. He didn't give her no choice. You get what I'm saying? But when two people are coming together, whether they're being responsible or not, they both made a choice. It shouldn't fall on one person to go and get an abortion. But if it's a rape involved, I feel like she has the complete and utter world in her hands. Like she can do whatever the fuck she wants. But at the same time, let's not forget there's there's a lot of people in history who have done a lot of great things. Uh,
Somebody has it playing in the background.
yeah.
Whoever has it playing in the background, can you pause it,
Um,
please?
there's a lot of women throughout history who have done great things, and they were products of rape. Eartha Kitt is one of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She was world renowned, known. The America didn't mess with her because she came over here doing what she was doing and changing the game. But fact of the matter is, she was a product of rape, and she did everything to take care of her mom because her mom didn't abort her.
Okay,
There's a
no
there's
doubt,
sometimes
no
there's
doubt.
sometimes there's a sometimes there's a silver lining in it, but at the same time that doesn't fall on everybody. But I feel like that the responsibility falls on both of those human beings. It shouldn't just come down to one.
All
If
right,
it's rape, like I said, it's
all right, no
Well,
doubt, no
in the
doubt. Now,
case
can I
of,
say something? Can I say something real quick?
yeah,
Now, hey, look. I mean, I understand exactly where the brother's coming from, but how come we need to make our reality the worst reality? It's like when we really talk about our women need to stop killing kids, having abortions, stop having pregnancies that you don't want, stop having kids. Then we got to use something like, well, sometimes some of them be rape. Well, shit. Okay, we know this, but I'm talking about the women that be out there that be not closing their legs. Stop letting niggas goddamn hump and fuck your ass, man.
Now, I
I
got
was
a
gonna
question.
say, statistics
If I can
does
say
say
something,
that it's like 1%
Who's
or
going next?
less of rape, like whether it's abortion or births through rape. It's like
Say it again, sis.
1%. It's like 1% or less.
1%.
yep. And I only use that as an example, not to make it the majority. It just happens.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
got you.
saying?
I got you on that part.
That's why I say I was agreeing with you in saying that these women have more responsibility than men because they are the gateways into this plane of existence,
Okay.
and they supposed to have responsibility over that gateway.
Okay. So what should the women that's outside of that 1% be doing?
Keeping their damn legs closed, like you said.
Exactly. Thank you, bro. Exactly.
It's no
Or,
different. You
or
can't.
let's
You
say
can't.
yo, I
Don't
got a
put
even
hey,
question.
don't
using
put it on the
protection.
goddamn man. Shit. What do you think
But
he
here's the
wanna
thing,
do?
even
Yo, I
using
got a question for
protection,
everybody.
I didn't have my first child until I was 35 with my husband. I never had an abortion. I never had a pregnancy scare because I was selective and I was protective. I
Yeah,
was
that's an
selective of the
anomaly.
people I
And you
laid
did the
with,
right thing.
and then I protected myself as well. So it
Well,
can be done.
Well, let me say, can I add this real quick? Um, I know somebody out there saying, yeah, but condoms don't always work and they break and they poke holes in them. Get you a motherfucking condom with spermicide on it, motherfucker. Get you a
Mm,
cream with spermicide. Use that motherfucker. Now, if
mm.
that fails you, then maybe God had a plan for your ass. But
Brother
otherwise,
Paul, you think cats don't
spermicide
know
ain't
that
gonna
shit when they was teenagers, man?
spermi- I'm just saying, spermicide, that's our go-to outside of abstinence. There's always
Yeah,
a condom with spermicide. Stop going for the Magnum, the gold pack Magnum, because like you got a big dick, nigga. It ain't protecting you with spermicide, motherfucker.
Okay, now what's
Get you
wrong?
a
What's
condom
wrong with
for
being
some
abstinence
spermicide
though?
and put it on your shit.
What's wrong with
So
abstinence though,
you ain't
brother
got to
Paul?
worry about you ain't hold on. You ain't got to worry about she poked a hole in the condom. You ain't got to
You're
worry
kind of
about she
breaking up.
eating dug it out trash. What I'm saying is
yeah,
you ain't got to worry about her poking holes in no condom, and you ain't got to worry about her grabbing no condom out the trash and taking the sperm out. The spermicide gonna kill it,
yeah. But
and
here
you stay
you got
outside the
another
body. So
scenario too. Like,
But wait a minute, even those are so rare. We're still talking about the rarity. Let me give y'all just a prime example. When you watch shows like Maury and Paternity Court and things like that, 9 times out of 10, not seven, not six, not five, 9 times out of 10, when the judge or Maury or somebody asks, did y'all have protected sex? They will say no. They're not using the protection. They're not on birth control and they're not wrapping up. So the problem isn't that you need to use a condom with spermicide. No, you just need to actually use a condom. You need to get on birth control. These young people are not using birth control. And hell, the older people didn't either for that.
I used to
They're
hear.
not using any forms of birth control because let's face it,
Well,
do y'all like condoms? Nobody likes them.
See, here's my thing about condoms, and I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
got nothing
yeah,
against condoms. Here's
man.
my thing about it. While I was in high school, junior high, and all that type of stuff, even up until now, I've had a whole lot of women tell me that they're allergic to condoms. Tell me
Well,
I'm
so it
lying.
sounds like somebody was setting you up for
Tell
failure.
no. Tell me I'm lying though.
No, not.
It's been a bunch of men who have heard a woman say, "I'm allergic to condoms. I'm allergic to latex. I'm allergic to this. I'm
But
allergic
you
to
I've,
this."
ain't
I've
you
heard
ain't allergic to the lipstick that you got on your face.
Exactly.
Okay.
You not but see my thing is this. I have 2 children. I have 2 children, and I'm not gonna sit here and say anything about them. That's my kids. I love them. At the same time, um, I knew what the hell I was doing.
absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? I took full responsibility for it. When I heard, matter of fact, my daughter's mom, she was tripping one day, and I was like, "You pregnant?" She was like, "No, I'm not."
oh,
2 months later,
bro,
we go to the doctor. She pregnant. I didn't
Yeah,
trip.
just
You
by
get what
but
I'm
based
saying?
on
bro,
the
but,
emotions.
but
Okay.
You
bro,
know what I'm saying? But I took responsibility for it. Now, at the end of the day, I have still dealt with women who made claims as to having an allergic reaction to latex, to any type of condoms. And that doesn't mean that I don't like condoms. It means
how a
that those
woman,
women don't.
how is a
Mm.
woman who wants to be a CNA or a nail technician allergic to latex?
Man, you
You
can't
know,
you can't tell
I'm
you
just
can't
saying.
make
No,
this
hold
shit
on.
up.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Them
You can't
women
make it
that's
up.
going to cosmetology school, they're going to be CNAs. They're going to have to learn to wear them goddamn latex gloves. How the fuck she allergic to latex gloves?
Yeah, but see,
Latex anything.
that's outside. That's outside of
Hold
the.
on. I'm
That's
reading this
outside of
question
this.
again. Abortion, the law that goes against civil rights. Yes.
Like my thing is, if we can sit here and make excuses for a whole lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, consequences is gonna happen, and people keep taking that word like it's negative. But if you do something good, the consequence of doing something good is usually getting something good out of it. If you do something bad, you're usually gonna get something bad back. So consequences go here or there, depending on where your energy is directed. People just ain't taking responsibility for their actions,
Yo,
and that's the part that gets on my nerves. And then they try to force responsibility on you,
so Deep
you
Rock,
know,
get
using the
on the get on the
courts.
get on the call. My bad, my
Hold
bad.
on. Yeah, let me ask a question right quick because every time this abortion conversation comes up, people seem to not necessarily have a focus to what's the problem we're actually trying to solve. Like, are we trying to protect moms? Are we trying to protect unborn children? Are we trying to protect rights? Are we trying to protect choices?
Mm.
Like, everybody loves to come at it from all these different angles, but there's no real what are we trying to solve? What problem are we trying to solve here?
We're trying to
That's
solve
hey,
all of
that's
that.
just
We're
hey,
trying to
hey,
solve
look.
all of that
Hey,
conclusively.
but okay, I'll wait. I'll
Y'all
wait.
We can't
can't,
at the same
we
time.
can't all speak
If
at
you,
once. Ain't gonna be.
we're trying to solve all of that conclusively. All of that is connected to one thing,
Okay, well,
and
my
all of those things we can't just solve one part of it. It all has to be solved together.
okay.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not saying
So
that, but there needs to be a underlying or a foundation problem that we try to solve. You can't if you're trying to solve 7 problems at once, you're not gonna solve any of them.
that's
My standpoint that I stand on, the premise of the show is that the law is discriminatory against men.
and
I
I
think
agree.
I think that men should have the same rights to not have air quotes mistake affect their whole lives. Women have that choice. Women can say, you know what, I'm not ready
Mm.
for this right now. I don't. This is gonna It's gonna take me off my program. Let me get this out the way. If she decides not to do that, that man can't say, well, I'm not ready for this right now. It's gonna take me off my program. He's forced to deal with it. There is
But
no
Morpheus is
But there,
Hold on,
the
hold
thing
on,
is he's
hold on,
focusing on
hold on, hold up. So are you saying that the man
blood cooking man.
he's still gonna get some buns and still be like, yo, if you get pregnant, ain't my prep. Is that what you saying?
I
well.
done heard some men say it.
See,
hold on,
hold on.
hold on.
If I
Hang
could
on.
chime in,
Uh,
I actually agree with
Dedrick had his hand
Timothea.
up. Dedrick had his hand up.
Okay, go ahead. Tim.
Hold up. Well, there is actually process a man can go through if he does not want any rights to that child. He can sign off on that. He can literally say, I don't want anything to do with it. I didn't sign up for this. He can literally sign off on that. There's forms that a man can say that I have no rights to this child and whatnot, and they can't put him on child support from
I
that point on.
I
That,
There-
I
got you,
doubt that.
brother. I got you. But why are we
I
still
doubt that, man.
skipping over the part? If you don't want a child, don't have sex.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And
right,
my whole
right.
point is we don't live in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect reality. We don't live in that. We got people who are not going to be abstinent. That's just not going to happen. So
Okay.
those are the right answers, but those are not the realistic answers.
Well, it's
No,
time we need to
well,
be
hold
realistic.
on.
Hold
Hold
on.
on. Let me say
Let
something then.
go. Just
Let me.
wait. Just concede it to Dedrick. It's just her.
Okay. All right. All right.
I was just going to say that I actually agree with Timotheus because if I were in a situation where a man told me, like let's say prior to, we're going to paint a picture. Prior to, I don't want children. That's not what this is about. Let's say it was an accident, like we're not being reckless, like because that does happen. It's not often, but it does happen. And if he said, I don't want this child, I don't want to be a family, I would allow him to sign his rights away if I, in fact, decided to keep that child. That's what I would do.
Mm.
Because
Okay.
the same way that I can go and have an abortion and say, I don't want to deal with this problem right now, I don't mean to call the kid a problem, but the same way I can do that, I do believe to a certain degree men should have that right as well.
Okay. Here's where I
Okay, hold
stand.
on, hold
Here's
on,
where I stand. Hold on, real quick.
Go
Here's
ahead,
where I stand on
Paul.
this.
Go ahead, Paul.
Hold on. This is where I stand. I promote not abstinence but protection. So that's what I promote. Brother, protect yourself. Now, this generation or anybody that does not want to follow that because they don't like condoms and this, that, and the third, guess what? I'm not going to support you in your fight for wanting the same rights that women have with abortion. In my opinion, you get what you got. You asked for it. You knew the risk. You know the
Use that
risk.
same energy
Right
for
now,
women, though.
hold on. Let me land the plane. You know the risk. Right now, there aren't very many options for you outside of what the brother said. And if you don't know how, the avenues to take or that's your concern, then, bro, I'm not going to back you up on you should have a right on in that aspect. That's your problem, homie. That's too bad for you, in my personal opinion. She get pregnant, you don't want the baby, sucks to be you. Shouldn't have fucked her.
Already.
That's my opinion.
All right, Paul. But like, my
Yeah.
question to you is like, do you keep that same energy for women?
I thought he was talking about
Yes,
women.
I said women, but because men are the ones that have received the backlash for not being responsible, and then they're crying about wanting to have the same right a woman does, don't fuck her. Don't fuck her.
Exactly. Case closed.
I agree.
Right. I mean, I
The
think
fuck, what are we talking
we're
about here?
clear on that.
Hey, it's a simple resolution.
Yeah.
Niggas just don't want to deal with it, man.
Okay, so
Right.
I have right here on the screen.
I mean,
It's real little. Y'all
not
can't see
niggas,
it.
but I mean,
It's
our
little, so
people
y'all
just
can't
don't want to
see it,
deal.
but I'm gonna read it. Let me read this real quick, Zoo.
Can you blow it up?
I'll try to blow. I was gonna read it because it's small. Let me see if I can try to blow it up.
Yeah, you want to read that, bro.
Yeah, just read it, bro. You don't even have to blow that up. Just read it.
Okay, yeah. It says terminating parental rights in juvenile dependency court. Another scenario where parents' rights are terminated in juvenile dependency court proceedings if one or both parents of the minors have substance abuses problems or are involved in criminal matters, are found to be abusive or otherwise unfit. A parent cannot voluntarily relinquish their rights simply to
Yep.
avoid paying child support or to
Yep.
resolve custody disputes, even if the other parent agrees.
Yep.
Even if the other parent agrees.
I was gonna say this.
A
Go ahead, bro.
parent cannot illegitimately give up their rights as a
It didn't
parent to
matter really.
So what the brother Timotheus is saying, that's a myth by saying, hey, look, I don't want no rights.
In order for a parent to give up their rights, there must be a step parent willing to take over responsibilities and obligations of the child through formal adoption. Terminating parental rights should not be taken lightly, and a petition to terminate parental rights is not always granted.
I will say that as a person that had to give up her paternal rights, you can't give them up to the state. You have to give them to somebody. Somebody has to willingly come up and say, "I will take your earth," and I will take
Parents
that.
out here having
I was
kids
just
and
can
then
I ask
finding
a
a way
question
for
real
protection.
fast
Then
because my internet kind of faded while you were reading. Did that apply to married people or just two people
That's
that
just
had
a
a child?
that was just two people having a
that's
child,
parents.
one trying to give their rights away.
Okay.
Right.
I
See,
mean,
my thing is this:
you can
people
just
don't
find
even
one
know that
parent
they
to
don't have custody of their children when they're born in the first place.
Yeah, you gotta go
That
get
part.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't. So my thing is, why are people arguing about trying to put custody and trying to see? It's just a money grab. To me, it's all a money grab because they just said that child support is unconstitutional. They just said it last year.
Look,
So that means if it's
when we signed that birth
unconstitutional,
certificate, we signed them
no,
over as a citizen of the United
no,
We are
yeah. As
just
soon as you get
parents.
that birth
That's it.
certificate, that's a cert. That means that there's a number
It
connected to
belongs
you
to the
and it's
state.
money
Oh
connected to you.
man, hey, I did not know we had chicken bucket hats on the goddamn call, but
Chicken what? Chicken what?
chicken bucket hats, the bulls. Okay, yeah,
It's true. They assigned them a social
Listen, do
security
your own
number.
due
So you
yeah,
diligence.
but they
sign.
do,
They
but
signed the
hold
birth
on,
certificate. They
hold
assigned.
on,
Hold on.
hold on.
You
Oh,
you you
go
you
ahead,
kind of insulted
sis.
me. So let me clarify what I'm saying. You sign the birth certificate that makes them a citizen of the United States. Then about 2 weeks later, you receive a document in the mail that gives them a social security number.
This
Then
is
you get to
true.
claim them on your taxes. You get to send them to school. You get to do all these things with your children. And then when they're 18, they go
I
out
can't
into
hear
the
none of
world
that.
and they become citizens of the United States. So, yes, essentially, yeah, we're just parents and they actually belong to the government. We all
Mm.
belong there. That's a whole different conversation, though.
no,
But
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
my
yeah,
point.
yeah. And I understand that, but I was gonna say another. I mean, shit. We in captivity. We know we're part of the goddamn government. We know this.
no,
Now,
you can figure this out by doing when
but
you do your
I'm gonna
taxes.
say,
When you
hold
get to
on. But
Wednesdays,
what I wanted to say is, notice how adults they think more about themselves than they do about children. This is becoming a common theme, especially over here in the land of wickedness, man.
Now, honestly, if we're gonna
Adults,
have this
hold
conversation, we
on,
can't switch
adults.
in and out of legal and cultural, man. There's cultural issues and then there's legal issues, and we got to pick our battles or pick which one we're talking about. If we're
Okay,
talking
now
about legal
are we
issues,
gonna
it's
care
gonna be
about the
really
kids,
cutthroat.
or are
It's
we
gonna
gonna
be
care
really
about
trash.
adults'
If
feelings?
it's gonna be cultural issues, there's gonna be stuff that's gonna be unequal in those cultural issues because it's always a trade-off.
I agree
So
with
we
you.
gotta pick.
I agree with you. But however, if we're going to make the decision, it'd be like, hey, I don't have enough strength in my body not to goddamn lay down with this woman that I really don't know and to have a kid with her. Now you're gonna make a stupid decision to be like, you know what? I don't give a damn about that child. This is what happens, man.
Right, but should that be enforced culturally, socially,
This
or
is our culture.
legally?
But that's
I
what
want to
we're
I
raise.
mean, that's what I'm saying. A lot of
I'm
times we
raising
use
my hand
legal
next.
means to try to control things that should be controlled more socially or culturally.
Mm. I don't know about y'all, man, but fatherless
I, I,
children. This is
I'll
the
wait till
so-called
I'll wait till
black
Jessica goes.
That's the
United
patriarchal.
States American Negro culture, man.
Okay, go ahead, Jessica.
I have a
Okay, so
question that
y'all gonna get
I've
okay. I'm
asked.
cool.
I've asked quite a few times in different posts and stuff, and I never really got a really great answer. So you know how when like, well, me and Morphine are the only two women. When we walk into the, the ultrasound room and we hear the heartbeat and we see the little fetus, we automatically fall in love with that baby. That's our baby, right? That's
Right.
our baby. It don't even matter. It just that's it. That's our baby. Well, for most of us, some of us don't give a shit, but I'm not one of them. But for men, isn't there like some kind of disconnect?
No,
Where like if you don't
no.
hold on, let me finish my question. If you don't have some really great feelings about the woman that that child is with, does it kind of make you look at that child differently? This is a
Correct
genuine question.
sometimes.
I
Now,
don't.
yeah. Hey, look, you asked what? Hey, please let me answer that. Please let me answer that. No,
I'll answer after.
there is no disconnect because just the same way you seen it, I see it.
Nah, bro.
But let's no,
Hey,
hold on.
hey, look,
Let's go
look.
back
Now,
to
now,
Timothy.
some cats might
Hold on.
be, some cats
Hold on,
Let
might
me
be
hold on,
like,
clarify
nah,
because I
bro,
want
hold
to.
on,
because
bro.
Hold
they
on,
weren't
wait.
there.
Let me clarify to get a good answer. Like Timothy has said, let's say it was y'all was at the club. Y'all don't even really know each other. You don't even know y'all last names, right? Y'all have no feelings for one another whatsoever. It was just a hookup. So for men, a lot of times I think, and this is just something I feel that the love, yes, not all men. So let me make that clear, not all
Right,
men,
I was about
but
to say.
some men, the love that they feel for the child is the love that they feel for that woman, and that's kind of the question that I was asking.
Can I
Okay,
try to
I
answer
got
that?
you now.
After
Can I try to
Paul,
answer that?
after Paul, we're gonna let Vinny go, and everybody, please don't interrupt each other as much because I'd hate to have to start muting people, but if it comes to that,
Hey,
I will.
mute me now.
All
This
right.
dude.
Based on your
That's what.
question, based on your question, I ain't never found myself in that situation where I had some chicken and we had met some chicken. There was a pregnancy scare, so I can't say for certain if there would be a disconnect if that's ever happened. However, I've been with the children I do have, and being with their mothers. I don't think it was so much because I love the mother that I felt something so much more for my children. Me and their mothers aren't together anymore, and I still love my children even more. I love and care about their mother, but not like I did when we first got together. You understand what I'm saying? So my love for my child is exactly that, for my child. That's the best way I can answer that.
Mm.
I don't know
Yes,
nothing about no one night stand and how you. I ain't been in that situation. I don't know, but I know I'm a guy that if I have a child or my children, I love my children. I'm going to be there for my child. That's the type of man I am. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's and I go on mute. That's my answer.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
what's the next?
Yeah, I'm a go ahead and jump on top of what he just said. I'm gonna completely agree with what he said because, and you guys, Timotheus is my brother. He's watched me go through a whole lot in regards to me being around my children, me seeing my children, me spending time with my children. He's been a part of that. And you can ask him off top if I love my kids. It don't have nothing to do with the moms.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
because what it is this. I gave you a piece of myself, and that piece of myself incubated in you. Whether I don't care how she feels about the child, I don't. That's why I have a problem with abortions, because a lot of abortions, for the majority part, are they happen without the consultation of the father knowing. Now, me as a man, because I love myself enough, if I shared a piece of myself with you, that I did love you. I don't go around just dropping dick everywhere. That's not how I do it. I have 2 kids, and I've taken, and I didn't wear 2 condoms. You get what I'm saying? So um my children mean the world to me. It has nothing to do with the connection to their mother or anything like that. What it has to do with is I know how I'm living, and I want them to live differently. I want to see them excel in areas of life that I didn't get to go or touch or experience.
Yeah,
And I know the only way for that to happen is for me to give them something that I didn't have.
right.
But when you take that opportunity away from me without consulting me, that's the problem to me. So I mean, I've never had no pregnancy scares or anything like that. If she was pregnant, it was gonna happen. I was gonna make it happen. Other than that, it's not no damn scared of me. That was just me taking responsibility for my actions. So I mean, I don't really see how my love for this woman is can affect my love for my son or my love
Mm,
for my
mm, mm,
daughter. They
mm,
have
mm,
absolutely
mm,
nothing to
mm,
do with
mm.
it. Once the child comes into the world, has nothing to do with the mom. It's like now I have to do what I'm supposed to do as a man and a dad.
There
Well,
you
just a
go.
real
It don't
quick,
have nothing to
Hey,
do
when
with
he
her.
done,
just a real quick
She's supposed
response
to
to
do.
both of you guys is that is awesome and that is good to hear. But I do hear a lot of times
I
because
ain't even get to
it'll
say
be
no,
like,
but
well,
okay.
I ain't give hold on. They'll be like, and excuse my vulgar for a minute because I usually don't talk like that. They'll be like, well, I ain't give a fuck about the hoe anyway. She was just a jump off. So I'm just gonna go do what I do, and they literally can't connect to that child because of how they felt about the woman. And it does happen. So y'all are not included in that, and I'm glad to hear that.
Well, look. Let me
Hey,
give
I
a little
got
bit more
something I want
info.
to say real quick.
The mothers that I had to deal with, you can ask my brother. They put me through hell. You get what I'm saying? And they started making me hate them to the point of where I started having like evil thoughts, man. But that had absolutely nothing to do with my son and my daughter. And
Mm.
then I had to sit back and think about it. You know what? If I do something to these females, it is going to affect my son and my daughter. So let me just step the hell back. Let me try to keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna defend myself as much as possible, but let me show my son and my daughter that I love them. It don't. Sometimes, man, people will just bring out the worst in you, but at the same time, they're bringing out the best in you because now you got to make a decision, and then the decision, hopefully, you taking a whole thought process, you including your children in it.
It's funny how niggas don't want to make a decision until it's too late.
Yeah, but even still, you're gonna have to make a decision. That's the whole point.
All
Life
right,
is
so let
about
me
making
let me.
decisions.
All right, no doubt. I'm gonna say this right here, man. Hey, if you do not take care of the woman of your children, she's not gonna take care of them children. Regardless of what your beef is, you better pick the right one that you want to have kids with. Why is it so fucking? I don't get it, man.
I don't know.
And
He's getting kind of wild, bro.
all I hear is niggas talking about some, yeah, well, this other baby mama and all that. Nigga, okay, so you fucked up from the get go.
Nah, he's
Pretty
speaking kind
much.
of wild, bro.
No, not,
Because
look, I
women be
know this
switching
is a
things up.
foreign language, but
Nah,
Hey, let him
women be
let
switching
him get
things
it
up,
out.
man.
Let him
yeah,
get it
look, I'm
out.
just
Let him get
saying,
it out.
look,
Let him
Let him get it
cook.
out.
look, I never will put my children above my woman, ever. Because if I do that, then I don't care for her. And if I don't care for her, then she ain't gonna care for the kids.
And
Do
that's
y'all
true. I
not
agree
know
with that.
this?
You're
I agree
wild,
with
bro.
that. At the same
No,
time,
go.
though, at the
Hey,
same
look,
time,
hey,
that
hey,
that
look.
that
If
has
it's
to
too,
be
hold on.
Hold
Hey,
on.
look, I
Hold,
understand if you agree with it, but if it's too late for you to goddamn do something about it, don't say nothing.
all right, go ahead, Maurice. Maurice was trying to get in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, I
He's a
mean
little,
everything that
a
this
little
guy
low.
just said. Hello? Y'all
Yeah,
hear me?
if
Yeah,
you
go
can get
ahead,
louder,
Maurice.
closer to your device or the microphone, maybe that'll help.
Step into the
Can you
light,
hear me now?
Maurice.
Yeah,
Hey,
we
hey,
can
no,
hear you.
notice,
It's just
notice how,
low.
notice how the logic just lays over niggas, man.
All right. So go ahead, Maurice.
Go ahead,
Wait
Maurice.
a
that
minute.
wasn't
Come
really
on,
that
man.
wasn't
Let the
really
man talk.
logic though.
Mm.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that like women be switching things up. Like the woman that you was kicking it with is different than the woman you started dating, which is different than the woman you engaged to, which is different to the woman you got married to, which is different than the woman that had kids for you. These are all different women in the same exact body. Women switch up, and when it comes down to
Okay.
stuff going down, like you're already in the situations that you can't make things work with this woman. So it's
Mm.
wild to
Mm.
think that I'm gonna take care of this woman so that she can take care of my kid. That's wild. That's when we get
I
to this
think
point
what.
where
Yeah,
I'm an adult,
Let them
you're an
finish. Let
adult.
them cook.
hold on. But
It's
look,
time to handle.
since
You need to handle adult business. I need to handle adult business. That's wild.
Are you
well, she
yielding the
was
floor?
worthy.
Are you yielding? Are you yielding the floor,
Oh, my
Mr.
bad,
Maurice?
my bad, my apologies, brother. Go ahead.
Or was you done? You was representing. I see your hand up, Vin. Zerubbabel. Seems like you got a rebuttal, sir. Before I
Yeah,
give
I
the floor
always got a
to
rebuttal. But I'm
before I
saying,
give the floor to Mr. Vinny over there.
I don't know who that is, but yeah. But I'm saying, how hard is it, man? Look, if you really gonna be about a woman, make sure she the right one. How come niggas keep fucking up multiple times? I don't get it.
Hello?
Are you
We hear
human?
you.
Does the room drop off?
Nah,
You
I ain't
did.
drop off if I'm still talking.
You did drop off, but you came
Oh,
back
I
in.
did. My
You
bad.
came back
Can
in.
y'all
You
hear me
came back
now?
in. We can hear you. Go ahead. You was
All right.
cooking. Go ahead, cook.
But
So
I'm
I could
saying,
I could yield
you
the
know what
floor
I'm
to Vin.
saying? But if hey, how do you think you're gonna really take care of your children if you don't take care of your wife or your woman or your what like some of you niggas like to call it the BMs? How do you think that shit
Yeah.
is gonna do?
Is that
Zaruba, I think you're
rhetorical or
talking
are you
about two
asking the
different.
people?
No, actually, I'm making a statement that niggas need to ponder.
Oh, okay. It's rhetorical.
Okay, go ahead, Vinny.
Vinny,
Hey,
Vinny,
look,
Yeah.
your
man,
So
turn.
fuck what
Vinny.
you talking about,
every
shit. I'm gonna be a whole ass nigga. Yeah, go ahead.
Paul, you want to go after Vinny?
everybody
Yeah,
everybody
sure,
is human,
sure.
and everybody is under the same umbrella of making bad choices, not mistakes, because you can't control a mistake. Mistakes happen. That's called life. But everybody is under the same responsibility of making choices, good and bad. And when
Yeah,
people make bad choices, you would hope that they would learn from them. But the problem is, we live in a day and age where everybody's head is in the phone like this and in the computer like this, and they're
yeah.
not
But
looking at
that
what's
that
going
ain't how
around
it
in the world.
usually is, though.
They're not paying attention to what's going on in the world. Instead, they're just being a part of it. So first and foremost, uh, go you talking about morals, and I respect you talking about morals. At the same time, you still human, and you ain't did everything perfect, just like I haven't, and everybody else on this this chat. No person in here is perfect. Everybody done made bad choices, and everybody is feeling the burn from them. Good choices, they feeling the ease from them. But at the same time, life is gonna happen. I can't control every woman. I can't control every man. But I used to be married, and I did my best to be the best husband that I could be. And my ex-wife cheated on me. So that being said, all of that stuff for me that you speaking goes out the window. I did take care of my wife. I was working 2 jobs. I was getting 2 hours of sleep every night and going right into the next job. You get what
Yep.
I'm saying? I worked all day. I came home. I got my home in order. I made sure my kids was cool. On my days off, I did I did teaching them because they were still babies. I was teaching them their ABCs. I watched my stepdaughter start walking. All of these things. You get what I'm saying? I was there for all of that. But life happened, and then my wife at the time just started going along with life, and she found ease from other men and all this other stuff. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and make no excuses about me. I wasn't perfect. Nigga, I was messed up too. But at the same time, I came clean about my problems. And having a wife, I'm expecting that my partner is gonna have my back because she's not perfect. I got her back, but that wasn't the case. So that is not always everybody's basket. Everybody's eggs are not always in the same basket. At the same time, we just got to roll with the punches. Our people, this is messed up because no men are getting the same inclusive rights as women are getting with these laws that they're passing in the form of abortion. Like, I feel what he was saying. He was saying you could do this and relinquish your rights, but I'm sitting back and I'm in my head like, no, you can't, because I know dudes who tried to do that and they still got to pay child support. You know what I'm saying? And me finding out that child support was illegal means that, nigga, I've been having my pockets already thieved because niggas pay taxes, but now I have to have pockets thieved because they don't believe I can just go and buy this stuff for my child. Everything that my child needs, I can just go buy this stuff for them. I can provide them with the energy that they need from their dad. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just where my head is on it. And no
Yeah.
person is perfect, and then people was
No,
gonna go through a
I
lot of
got what
nonsense.
I got you.
Paul was
Trust me, I
next, but
understand exactly what you're saying, but come on, sometimes we're gonna have to sit back and be like, well, what are the kids really thinking?
But that's what we
Paul,
do
Okay.
think.
Paul, you're next. Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
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 Zoo, you
The,
go.
the other brother, there was another brother. He was saying something about women changing up, and I didn't hear anything because my phone kept dropping off the call. I wanted him to finish that because I wanted to address or figure out. I don't know where he was going with that, so I wanted to respond to it or just hear what he had to say out.
Yeah, I mean that was me.
That was Maurice.
No, I was saying like women that you're kicking it with is different than the woman that you're dating, is different than the woman that your fiance, different when she's married, and then when she has kids, she's a different woman altogether too. So women switch up. They're not the same woman all throughout the
Okay. With
relationship.
that being, but with that being
That
said,
was basically the point I was saying. So like if she switches up and switches out of the relationship, how are you supposed to take care of her just so you can take care of your kid? That's
okay.
that's
Now,
not
Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead.
okay. Now, I get what Zerubbabel was saying, and I get your argument. For me, Zerubbabel's argument is if you're in a relationship. For me, that's what that meant. As far as with a woman that you're not going to marry or what have you, again, I have to say, if fatherly instinct is in you to be a father, you're going to do what he's done as a father, as a man. Because I think in this culture, in American culture, I think manhood is determined by our accomplishments and how much we're responsible. We don't have little things where in America you got to go kill a bull to become a man. It started with how many kids you got, how many women you fucking, how much money you got, what you do for them, that type of shit. So, but as a man, if you have a child with a woman, whether you love her or not, that should not have a bearing on how you feel about that child. If you're concern, if you have a disdain for that woman, and that becomes a disdain for the child, I myself will call you a punk ass bitch, because that's an emotion. That's a feminine thing. Oh, I'm mad at your mom, therefore. I'm mad at the mom, therefore I'm mad at the kid. I've been mad at my kid's mother so many times I never took it out on my kids. Not one time have I ever said, yo, ass mama, yo, ass. No, what I'm saying is, so I get what Group is talking about, bro. If that's your focus, and you think, because I get it on your side.
Oh shit. Paul keep going in and out.
Yeah, Paul, you keep
Yeah.
going in and out, Paul.
Paul gone.
Paul just
Yeah.
stopped.
No, I mean, my rebuttal was in regards to taking care of a woman that you're no longer in a relationship with just because she has your kid. Like that's just a wild statement to me. Now, everything that Vinny was co-signing, I co-sign everything that Vinny was saying in regards to um the situation that he had brought up. But as far as taking care of a woman just because she has your kid and you have nothing to do with that woman anymore, that's wild. That's just a wild statement altogether.
Paul, are you your phone good now, Paul? Because you dropped off. Okay, go ahead, B. Because I don't hear Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Hello.
I low key agree. I low key agree with I bro, you watched me try and do a whole bunch of things, man, and try to create a lot of peace between me and my kids' moms, bro. You watched me do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I even though I wasn't with my daughter's mom and even though I wasn't with my ex-wife, I still tried to help them. And even though it might not have always been financially, the majority of it is you raising a child by yourself is hell. Raising a child is not all financial. The majority of it is emotions, morals, standards, all of these things that the child needs to learn before they hit the outside world, so they know what the outside world looks like in comparison to home.
Yeah.
And home is always supposed to look good. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that for every child, but home is always supposed to look good. You're always supposed to be able to go home. You know what I'm saying? Whether your parents are together or not. But yeah, I don't always see. I can't. That's a very difficult concept, and I'm only saying that because I was doing it, and I wasn't yielding anything. I wasn't getting anything. My son wasn't even getting anything that was viable to him back from me going to check on his mom, make sure she's all right, make sure she got somebody to talk to and all this stuff. When I'm sitting back, and then not to sound emotional, but you get cheated on, you're not gonna forget that shit.
Right. So
Yeah, especially from somebody that you love and you promised your life to him. You're not gonna forget that.
right.
But to
So
go
now
out and
the
still try to make
conversation.
sure that person is okay.
So now that the conversation is kind of switched tone,
Right.
this tone still applies to the topic at hand because
Yep.
now it boils down to, is it fair that women have the right to deprive a man of his right to be a father?
Hell
Because
no.
hang on,
Sorry.
B. Because I'm gonna paint this scenario now. A married couple, a man and a woman, they newlyweds, right?
Right.
They getting busy, they getting active, windows to the wall, to the sweat drip down, all of that's all skeet skeet. And in his mind, he's trying to, start a family and have a baby, and be a dad. But his wife, emphasis on his wife, can become pregnant. And under the law, the way it's written now, his wife does not have to tell him she is with the child, and she can go terminate that pregnancy unbeknownst to him without his permission, his acknowledgement, or anything. That is that or is that not discriminatory?
Yes,
That's
that
hella
is. I would agree
discriminatory.
on that.
I'm not even gonna
On
call it discriminatory. I'm gonna call it bullshit.
Yeah, I would
Can
I
I?
would agree with that. That's bullshit. Yeah.
It's morally
So
bullshit.
let me tell
It's
y'all a story. When real
can I?
quick,
Can I?
when I got
Can,
I
remember
thought
I got
Morphine
pregnant
was
with
about to say
Momo.
something.
yeah,
When I got pregnant with Momo, I was 42 years old. I thought about abortion for like 7 seconds, but I didn't think about it without my husband. I said, I'm 42. We don't know what can happen. We don't know if there could be disabilities. Are we really ready for this? We're in a different financial bracket. What are we trying to do? I consulted my husband. Granted, I would never have done it, but I consulted my husband. So any woman that is a wife, that does not consult their husband when they get pregnant, that's bullshit. And I land my plane on that one. I had to get that out because fuck that.
Indeed,
Go ahead.
indeed.
Go ahead, Keisha. After you, Morphine, we're gonna let B get in, Vinny.
All right, so somebody background is like giving me mad when
It's not me.
there you go. It was
I'm on
Paul.
mute.
It was Paul. Paul got it. Paul must got the fan on or something. Um, I'm gonna say this. The thing about this, right? Here's the little situation. It's not the women, it's the law. Again, I'm gonna say it's not the women, it's the law. Y'all want a lot of these conversations want to fight women on the rights that the law give them, that the 14th Amendment protects, which is their privacy. It protects your privacy too. You just don't use it like women use it and weaponize it, like the law use it and weaponize it. You don't use it and weaponize it in the same way. I'm not saying men you don't have it. I'm just saying we was reading some things, and as we got to reading, I was like, hey, fellas, y'all know y'all could use this to your benefit. It's a private law.
Hmm.
It's a private law.
So
I
are
can
you?
respond to that.
Hold on. Hey, hold on.
Hang on,
Real quick.
hang on.
So,
Vinny had next. Let's make
man, hey, and now I understand it, man. I know Timothy is always gonna put me on the back. I don't mind.
Oh,
I'm going down the queue. He had his hand up for a good minute. He was in church.
Man, I ain't know we supposed to raise hands and shit. I ain't
No,
know
I
we
was
was
in
like that.
church.
Yeah,
No,
Hey,
nigga,
you
raise
know
your
what?
hand
It's
with your
cool. It's
tongue.
cool, bro. It's
all
cool.
right. To respond to what Queen Morphine said, I'm gonna say it just like this. The reason I'm saying women instead of the law is because the law was created based off of the actions, the consequences, or repercussions that women were taking in order to do this because they wanted to.
Right.
So the law is based off of action. Law is created because of action. Thou shalt not kill. We had to make that law because niggas was out here killing each other. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
the law was made in 3 parts. I don't know if y'all
literally
got
remove.
there during the earlier review of this law. I'm not rebutting anything. I'm just letting you know you're right. Okay? It reviews 3 parts, brother. One part has to do with women. I'm not talking about the law for right now. I'm talking about when it was made. You gotta think about back then. Back then, that got nothing. The reason why we having this conversation is because we all agree this ish right here is outdated. Can we all say that? It's super outdated. All right,
But
bam,
see,
let's
the
move
Yes.
on.
thing though, Morphine, is like I mentioned earlier when we was going over the law, is that privacy we mentioned. Yes, that woman does have the right to her privacy, but it comes at the expense of men's privacy. So if in a situation where they're not married and a woman goes down to the court and she puts a man on support, she violated his privacy. She didn't have his permission to put his name into this court. He didn't give
That's two different laws, baby. Y'all
Ooh,
talking about court.
but it's
Y'all talking
still
about child
no.
support
But
and procedure laws.
it's still the 14th Amendment though of privacy. Where does his
I don't
privacy go?
know. We ain't looking at child support laws, bro. We look in the
No.
procedure. We talking
I
But
about
want
the
to hear how more
that's
people
still
can
the
use
same
this
thing.
he
privacy
makes
law
a
to
good
help men.
point.
That's what I want to hear.
I don't know. Listen. Back to the 3 things they used to make this law. Because that was my point. They used these 3 things to make this law. One, women was getting this procedure and dying. Back alley procedure. She's dead.
That's true.
So that was one of the reasons. That was one. The second one was birth defects. That was the second one, right? And then the third one was, dudes was going around raping women. So they put that clause, they slid that joint in there too. Yeah, I mean, these are the 3 clauses that the medical field in one woman this well, two or three. Let's just say two or three women outside of feminism. Y'all keep blaming this on feminism. Feminism was against this shit. Do y'all understand that? It was against it. So you can't blame feminism for this. That got nothing to do with feminism. It had to do with these three little things. That's it.
Yeah, but
And
Keisha, you
Maurice was
know,
right. Women was out there often getting, damn near killing themselves to get the procedure done. So that's what kicked that off. Like that's what really jumped kicked
Mm.
everything off.
yeah,
It
but
was
you got a
literally
lot. You got a feminism been hijacked, and you know that it's been hijacked by a lot of extremists that use it for their own selfish gains, and now you got the genuine feminists fighting against the you got this in-house feminist fight going on, so to speak. You know what I
and
mean?
this
You
was
Hey,
back
let's not go
then,
too far
though. This
off
was
because I
But
back
never got to
then.
okay? Yeah,
respond
all
to
right,
those
my
Man,
bad.
questions
You're right.
about
You're
it.
right. You're right. You're right. You're
it
hang
right.
was
on.
the most heinous thing I ever read. It had nothing to
Okay.
do
Let
with
Zerubbabel Bell get
what
his
they was
rebuttal in.
for,
Yeah.
Paul. Like I'm
Now,
just saying.
now I just want to respond to, if a woman she's married to her husband and she gets pregnant and she says, I don't want to have a child. That's not her decision to make. It's not.
Right.
They're supposed to make decisions together. That's what it says. We come as one. You don't get
Yeah.
to pick and choose when you can do it on your own and without the other. You're
Right.
supposed to be
Because
as one at
if you
all
want to
times.
have sex and you want to damn have abortion, just go out there and be a hoe by yourself.
But
That's
this
what you
the
do.
thing though. This the thing though, Zerubbabel.
Now I'm
This
listening.
this law, like she just pointed out, the reason they legalized it was illegal. They were illegally getting this procedure done,
I know.
and as a result of their actions to do this illegal thing, they died. So since so many women were dying from it, they just made it legal.
Now I was waiting
So
on
wait, wait,
somebody to
wait, wait,
point out
let me
that
get it out.
most of
Let
these
me get it out.
people that was getting these illegal abortions, they was prostitutes.
It was more than just that. It was more than
No,
just that.
no,
Yes,
it
they
wasn't.
was.
No,
No,
it
they
wasn't. Let me
wasn't.
get it out. Hang on, hang on,
No,
hang
they
on, please.
wasn't.
The thing is,
They was not prostitutes that was
please,
dying
It
please,
was
Mm.
unprofessional
please,
of these
prostitutes. That's what
procedures.
they were.
But he
please, come
may got
on.
a point with
I
that
got
Please,
next
though.
when y'all done.
please. The
He
thing
may
about
got a point with that.
what I'm saying is this. One of the highest mortalities in the United States is drunk driving. Since so many people drive drunk and die, should we make drunk driving legal? Does that
Now,
see
man,
that's
hey,
kind
abortions is the highest mortality rate. I know I'm fucking it up. I'm just forgive my southern slang, man. But it's a mortality rate amongst so-called black females. It is.
I was just gonna add that I find it
False
really
dichotomy you
funny
said,
that
Timothy.
I don't have to get my husband's permission. And this is in the state of Virginia, and this was I'll say what I'm 46, so this would have been like 10 years ago. I'd never have to get my husband's permission to get an abortion, but he would have to sign off to give me permission to get my tubes tied. Did y'all know that?
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
wild. Now, what were you gonna say, Maurice? He was speaking.
No, you the analogy that you gave about drunk driving is not it's a false dichotomy.
Well, no, I understand that. I was using an extreme to point just how
Because he
ridiculous this
thought
thing is.
nobody else knew
No,
shit.
what I'm saying is a false dichotomy. It's not an appropriate analogy for what you
No,
gave.
I recognize that, and that's why I just said I used an extreme to point just how I made a ridiculous
Charge that
claim.
nigga $10 for that bullshit
I
right
made
there.
I made a ridiculous claim
Hey,
purposely to show how ridiculous the whole notion of it was in the beginning. Since people were doing something illegal and dying from it, they just said, you know what, we might as well just make this legal. And just it's
Well,
it,
see, okay, never mind. I think you misunderstand what I'm
No,
saying.
no, it sounded like you said you was about to say something, brother. It seemed like you was. Say what you got to say, man.
Well, what I was going to say is that if you're going to give an appropriate analogy for, all right, women are killing themselves doing, this abortion on themselves. So what they do is they assign a medical professional to do it for them legally. A more
Hmm.
appropriate analogy would be that, if you're killing yourself drunk driving, then there would be somebody that would be like a designated driver for you. That would be a more appropriate analogy.
Mm.
Okay, now I'm a little bit
I
off.
think I think
So
I got
it
the
would be
facts
like
posted, y'all.
instead of it's like okay, but what you said, I would say maybe since these women are doing this illegally and killing themselves, emphasis on unaliving themselves, and to compare it to drunk driving, it's like, well, rather than you getting drunk and offing yourself, we're gonna have a medical professional offer you for you.
Right,
but
That's
because
more
hold
of
that's
a
on,
what
more
hold
we
better
on,
have.
hold
analogy.
on.
Yeah.
But what is the purpose for a woman that's married to a man? Because being married means that you want to have a family, right?
Not to
You would
everybody,
think.
you don't.
I
You
mean,
would think.
you would think so, right?
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a bad assumption, bro. Bad assumption.
Some,
No, that's
yeah,
not a
some
bad
people.
assumption. I mean,
Well,
It's a
shit.
well,
very bad
Or
assumption.
hold
But
on,
well,
hold
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 on,
on.
on.
hold
One of
on,
them,
hold on, hold on.
wait, or one of them cheating, and that's why they had to have an
Hold
abortion.
on, look. Hey, look. Everybody can talk
That's
about
true.
cheating, but look, everybody don't cheat.
Okay.
So y'all can drop
Oh,
that.
Okay. We got another
listen.
woman on the panel. We got another woman on the panel. Welcome.
Now
Woo
I'm
woo!
gonna finish what I'm saying. Now, if you're married to a man and you're having sex with him, if you don't want to get pregnant, what's the option you supposed to do?
Use protection.
Use protection. That's it.
Protection, birth control, whatever.
That's it. That's all you gotta fucking do.
I,
Use
I
birth
agree with
control.
I agree
That's
with
it.
that.
It's that fucking simple, man.
I don't know how much you've heard or haven't heard, Ekron. Did you want to jump in?
Who is it crying?
Oh well, no. Let me catch her up. Let me catch her up. Okay. Um, it's something that I do for all the new callers. I catch them up, and for the old callers, I'm gonna catch you up as well. We went through how the procedure, because that's what we're going to call this, how the procedures law came about, started from the 1930s all the way to the 19 let's say 62. So it started in the 1930s, and it was officially on the books in 1962. We talked about the steps of it getting there. So, do you think, my sister, the abortion laws go against the civil rights of their counterparts, which is the men?
Okay. That's an interesting topic you guys picked today.
Yeah, yeah, it's a mouthful, man.
So it's
I was trying to figure out who was gonna get them giggle first,
Hey,
You knew
goddamn.
I was going to go
Okay.
first.
Ah,
hey,
I knew
hey,
it.
that's,
I knew
hey,
I was
he's a
going to.
hey,
topic
hey,
It
hey,
was
that's
I
birth.
targeting me.
That's
drag.
another
it
form
was
of birth
me.
control. That's another form
I
of birth.
laughed.
Oh my god, that's a touchy
I laughed
subject.
first.
All right. So for me, I think it depends on the situation because
Mm.
I think some states in the United States are you can't get abortion period. But what about if you have medical reasons? What about if you can't carry the child full term? So in some states what they're saying is like you have to, even though if the child is like dead inside, you still have to carry it until birth.
Full term.
Like you can't full term, you can't just go and that's a lot of that's
That's a
traumatic.
lot. That's gross, man.
That's
You
a
got to
lot.
carry a dead thing inside you.
Yeah,
All
like
right.
what happens
So
if you have
let's
medical things? Like what
okay.
happens if
Dead fetus.
um
It's using medical terms now.
so what
Now
happens if
can we just speak about like let's hey, forget all the analogies, man. Now let's just talk about natural birth. Child is perfect, they got a heartbeat. The woman is married to a husband and she be like, you know what, I don't really want to have a kid.
but that's just one aspect of it. There's so much. Like you can't put a law out there when it affects so many people in different situations.
Okay, so it does affect stuff. It does affect somebody other than the
I
woman.
think. Oh
I
shit.
think I think that law should be revised. I'm going to be the first woman on the panel to say it should be a law in there that you got to tell your husband, like, you can't do this without the
Mm.
spouse. Like, it
Y'all
should
Well,
see,
be a
no,
y'all
They
see
do
law.
how y'all see
I
revise.
how
see,
that work.
but that's why I mentioned. That's why I mentioned that I find it really funny that I can have an abortion and not tell my husband about it. But if I want to get my tubes tied, which I did have done, by the way, and my husband had to sign off on it, and this is in Virginia. This is
That's weird.
Virginia state law. He had to sign off on it that he no longer wanted to have children, just like I did not no longer want to have children. And before they tied my tubes, we both signed paperwork. But we both don't have to sign paperwork. If I would have said, you know what, I don't feel like being pregnant, and I don't want this baby. Nah, that didn't happen.
Go
Did
ahead, B.
That happens
go
because
ahead,
these
Sydney.
these two laws were on different law tracks. That's the reason that's happening. It hasn't really what do you call it uh connected together. They
Benny
have
got
nothing to do
next.
with each other.
It's
They
one
they
law,
they
but go ahead.
technically kind of do. I know for a fact they're in the majority of the states that a female can't get rid of her uterus, none of that, bro. Um, um, without consent, being married, and then there's women that are single, they won't let them do it either.
That's right.
Even if the woman is like, I'm not gonna have kids, I don't want to have kids, I never want to have kids. You can take my fallopian tubes and my uterus out, and they'll say no. And the
Yep.
Right.
reason, and there's no logical reason for them to tell the woman no. They're just saying no. I feel like me personally, because that's another form of control to them.
Hmm.
Like if someone is set on not having children and they want to have this surgery, uh, I don't know. I mean, you just check
Well,
their psychological profile. Have them go to a therapist. See if they on the
can,
they
can I
walk in the
respond to
line, and
that?
if they walk in the line, then just leave them be.
He's
But
right.
Well, look, can I
as
respond to
far
that
as I'm
real quick?
I'm still talking though.
Go
I
Uh,
ahead.
just say, can I
the
respond to it? That's all I asked, brother.
oh yeah,
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 go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
After. That's all
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
asking.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because my thing is this. Um, if a man and a woman come together, they have plans to have a family. Whether that family is between them and their spouse, or creating a family, which means having children. But if somebody says, "Yo, I don't want to have that at all," then that aspect, I feel like it's like, yo, if that woman doesn't want to have children, leave her be and let her do what she's doing. But at the same time, I'm like I said, check their psychological profile, see if they walk in the line, and if they not,
That just disappeared.
He
Yeah.
popped out. Is
Well,
is
coming into
he's
a
parroting
marriage
himself, but all I wanted to say
with
was
the
I agree with
idea
him.
of having some children, because a man wants to pass his legacy. A man
mm-hmm.
wants to pass on his legacy. That's how we keep our name alive. Um, but I don't want to be in no relationship with a woman, and I'm thinking about legacy, and she's thinking about, I just want to be free like a bird and fly away. And but you married, you can't just be free and fly like a bird and fly away. Like we a flock now. We got to fly together.
Yeah, you can
And if we
cancel
got a
them
nest,
plans.
yeah, I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we made plans together to stick
Hmm.
together. You know what I'm saying? Like the brother Paul was saying, it was all coming down low key to morals. Yeah, that's what he was speaking about, and I'm gonna keep it 100. I agree with that, man. We don't have morals, and that's why we have laws like these.
Hmm.
These laws are screwed up, and they're made to make people think that they're on the level, but really they're not. They give no equality to anybody.
All right.
I,
This
All
goes
I,
right.
back to
I
Go
what I
ahead,
was
just,
saying
Paul.
about whether we're
I
talking
just
about
wanted
legal
to.
enforcement or we're talking about cultural enforcement.
Well, hold on before we do that. Before you do that, hold on. So what he said about a woman wanting her
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 uterus, her
plumbing,
fallopian tubes.
yeah,
Yep.
wanting all that. I agree. I think it's messed up that they tell these women no. I agree with you. They should be able to, but I'm wondering if the medical professions are saying no because of the health risk? Are they having these talks with women about the risk? They don't want to risk maybe that it's so tricky that this woman could die, and that's why they don't want to do it. I don't know,
I
but
can
I,
answer
I
that.
think
I was
I'm
gonna
just
say I can
curious
respond to
as
that
to
too.
why would they tell women no?
I can
I
Because
can
respond.
I
tell
I'm
you
gonna
agree
why.
let
with
more
them.
people respond to that. Go ahead,
I can
Morpheus.
Wait,
respond
what?
in that first. And whoever want to respond to it first, mine is a more medical, financial reason. I don't, and I
Mine's
know Miss
is
Phil's is going to be something different. What they
No,
tell us,
mine's is
mine.
gonna
And,
be the
and
same as
welcome,
yours.
welcome Moody
Yeah.
Watt to the panel. Welcome Moody Watt to the panel.
No,
But
man.
welcome, brother
Ah,
Moody
shit.
Y, to the
No,
panel.
man.
Ah,
Welcome,
shit.
welcome. Our one
Wow.
and only spectator villain of the more conversation with the average black man. He wears cape proudly, people. He wears it
And
She
proudly.
then
said,
Yeah,
"Philly."
shit.
a
Shit
60
about to
40
Go
go
nigga
ahead
south
and
get
real
promote
permission
that
to
fast.
be like, hey,
good
shout out
conversation.
Moody, I shout
Shout out,
fuck
shout
that
out to,
nigga, man.
shout out to, shout out to most of the
Motivated,
people
man.
on the panel.
Motivated.
Shout out to most of the people on the panel. It's an interesting discussion. You know what I mean? This is a very interesting discussion, and I'll just weigh in real quick. And this is just my personal
Hey, if you
opinion.
ain't
This
got
isn't,
kids, man, hey, you
man.
can't add
Excuse
to
me,
the
brother.
goddamn
Jack,
Excuse me.
conversation.
Jack,
Excuse me, brother. Excuse me,
Zerubbabel.
brother.
Bell.
All
Y'all are
right.
Right.
making
I ain't
fun
gonna
of
And
what
I,
ask
I'm
her.
gonna say.
right. I'm gonna be honest. Like, and I'm just before I say anything, you have to be mindful of the people you have on your panel. Some people come to your panels just to be disruptive. I'm just gonna put that out there. Pay attention to who you surround yourself with. Now, that being said,
Hey,
now,
not in front of company, y'all. Not in front of company.
right.
Hey, yo, if y'all
he,
don't
he,
stop
he
acting
didn't
up.
know he ain't talking about his goddamn self, though, but go ahead.
That being
Listen,
said, that being
and
said, when it
after you, Mugabe, brother Maurice can say what he was
No,
saying.
right,
no, no. It was the ladies. It was
Oh,
me and
okay.
It
Jazz.
really was. I like
Mhm.
how y'all
Go
skipped
ahead.
over it.
Right, go ahead, brother, because he came into the. We always yield the floor to the people walking in. So go ahead.
that being said, when it comes to uh abortion, let's just put it let's just put it
I
out
don't
there. I
forget what
think
the hell
that
I was saying.
this is a discussion that I think that men should just fall back and let women hash it out however they choose to hash it out. I think when it comes to the subject of abortion and reproductive rights, I think that the women in this country, this is the one thing that men, we should, no matter how we personally feel about the situation, we should fall back and let women come to a conclusion.
Mm.
And whatever conclusion that the majority of American women come to, the rest of the women are going to have to adhere to it. What that does is that eliminates them saying that the patriarchy is controlling them in some type of way. That eliminates them from saying that it's men that don't have a dog in the fight, that's and I'm using my air quotes, trying to control their bodies. We give them the latitude to do whatever they see fit for the sisterhood across all races, and whatever conclusion they come to, that's what they're going to have to live with. See, as men, sometimes you have to step back and let them hash it out however they're going to hash it out. Let them fuck around and find out, in other words.
Right.
Whatever decision they come to. And when it comes to a married couple, and when it comes to the married couple and a woman go sneak and get an abortion, that's such a small percentage of the population. I think that it's negligible to even mention those people. I don't think that in the event that your wife does sneak out and go get an abortion and you happen to find out about it, that's probably not the woman for you to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
You kind of
pretty
Right.
making
sure
sense right there.
I'm pretty sure that one of the biggest conversations that you should have in your relationship is about family.
Right.
That's like top relationship conversation. So if you're not
Right.
having that, if you're not eye to eye on that, it's probably not the proper relationship for
Definitely.
So now, with that said, what the brother Muduwa just said,
say is
now
about
we know.
the
Now, okay.
last thing I want to say is
Uh,
about
Wasn't
this is
more.
yeah,
damn, boy.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
because I'm trying to be concise with this because
Okay,
this
because he
isn't
got a
this
lot
isn't
to say.
really yeah,
You
this
have a
yeah,
lot.
isn't
You have a
really
lot to
he
this
say.
is a
always do, but go ahead.
this is a
So
very
do you,
easy thing.
Zoo.
Th-
Hey, I ain't. Shit, I've
Y'all
been
say
blocked two
motherfucker.
times.
Y'all say motherfucker in a different form. But go ahead.
All right, the long pause. I mean, I can speak. Now, with that said, a woman doesn't have a child. It's not by herself. You can't just be like, oh shit, I'm pregnant. I'm gonna get rid of this baby. And I ain't gonna tell the individual that got me pregnant. Are y'all trying to say that that's rational thought?
So
I mean, you gotta address
Young
the thing
girls.
he was saying, because what he's saying is let women hash it out with all due respect and love for my ladies. When y'all hash it out and this everything blows up, the first thing y'all want to point your thing to is to men. It's their fault, it's their problem. It was because of them. And as much as you would want to take us men out of the equation, we will always be a part of the equation. You can't X us out. You can't factor us out of the situation.
which is the
So the
topic of
whole
the show, is that
concept
it's
of
discriminatory.
letting women hash it out, I think is bogus.
Hey,
I
hey,
think
Yeah,
I
hey,
it
think
sound
me
it
and
sound
No,
like
Justin,
it's
bull. Yeah, it
funny.
sound like bullshit.
the
Thank you,
women
brother.
was supposed to speak. I'm gonna let Vinny go after the women, but I don't even know what Jesse dipped off.
Well, it was when
Okay.
Paul. It was
Oh,
when
did she
Paul
go?
was talking. It was when Paul was talking about shit. They done made me
You wait.
forget
I know what.
now.
I know what. Do
Damn.
you
You
want
were
me to
about
go?
to.
Do you want me
You
to go?
were.
Because I remember what it was. Do you
Yeah,
want me to
you
go?
go and I'll piggyback off of you.
Okay. So Paul asks, why isn't it that when we go into these facilities, whether it's our primary doctor, whether it's a clinic or whatever, and we ask to be like, yo, listen, we don't want no kids, we want our tubes tied, because if you don't have more than 3 children by a certain age, you can't get your tubes tied as a young woman. They ain't letting you do that. So Paul
Yep.
asks, if we wanted our if we wanted, what is that, a hysterectomy, if we wanted that,
Mm-hmm.
why can't we get these things? Paul, that was his question, because I ain't forget doing all this, that was
Mm.
lingering in mind. I'm gonna say from a medical to financial one, because who the hell's paying for that shit? Do you know how that's an expensive procedure? That's an
Mm.
operation.
insurance.
No, ain't no intern operating digging in my guts.
Insurance.
Oh, okay. What insurance is covering this? Because most
What?
women got Obama insurance when they doing this, or private insurance paying for this. That's the number
It's
two
elective.
reasons.
I mean, being
These are
elective is
two
gonna be a
reasons
problem.
why they like, no, no, I'm not doing it. A, because most HMOs ain't gonna cover that shit, and then second, that shit is expensive.
Okay.
I don't know of any
Hey,
insurance.
what happened?
Well, hold on, my turn. So
It's her
the
turn.
second part of that is going to be, let's say I'm a 20-year-old woman, 20.
We lost
Oh
her.
man, the
She cut
ancestors
out.
started talking. They
Yeah,
was like, oh.
you know,
Answers you don't want to hear that shit.
No,
them
The
lies
first
ain't
thing,
them
hold
lies
on,
There
ain't
you
gonna
go.
fly.
There you go.
hold.
She back. She back.
She came
Devin.
back.
Shush.
The first thing that they're going to ask me is, okay, have you been married? And I've been through this. Have you been married? Okay, so if you meet a man and he wants to have children, you know that if you get a hysterectomy, you get your tubes tied, that is a very expensive procedure. It's an invasive procedure for you to do. Therefore, are you sure you want to do that? Now, they will ask that, but they're only entertaining you at that point. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to do it. If you are 30 years old and you do not have children, they're not going to do it. If you are 35 and you have a husband and y'all do not have children, they're not going to do it without your husband's consent.
But
I was
but you're not.
43. Hold on, wait. I'm not finished. Let me land my plane. I was 43 when I had Monica. And even though they knew damn good and well I should have tied my tubes, they still requested the permission of my husband to tie my tubes.
All
And
right,
that's a fact.
but my question is, why won't they do it?
Just because I just okay, just like some people say that they don't want trans children to be transitioned, because what if you change your
You
mind
got
later
it,
on?
Vinny.
That's the best example I can give.
Yeah,
no,
but
What
but
if you
but if
I
change
got
your
an
you
mind
answer.
later on?
but wait a minute, you're at 20 some odd years old. You're very aware of what you want to do, and you do it. You know there's no reversing it. So that's just something you got to fucking live with.
Don't
This is why
matter.
I got
I
an
say,
answer.
hold on, hear me out. Let me real quick. Give me 30 more seconds. Is why I say the same thing I say about
Amy, right?
abortion and protection, contraceptive. Right now, I think no man should be wanting to have the same rights a woman does, especially when he don't want to have kids. You don't want to have kids? Stop fucking these bitches.
I agree.
Stop
Vinny,
fucking
Vinny,
them.
Vinny is
I
next. Go
mean,
ahead, Vin. Vinny's next. Vinny, do I need
all
to
right.
tell you? Do
So
I need to put 2 minutes on the clock?
I don't know. Maurice, Maurice said that it is elective, which it is. These are elective surgeries that you can have.
Mhm.
At the same time, a hysterectomy is much worse than your tubes tied because your tubes being tied, it can be reversed.
Mhm.
A hysterectomy can't because they're removing it from inside of you and burning
That's
it.
right.
Whereas your tubes being tied, it's just a snip, and you know we put this mesh over it, and now nothing should, we can reverse it if you want to, blah 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 blah. But the
Fuck
point
off.
I was making in bringing all of that up is, and it kind of does tie in with the transsexual stuff, and because all this stuff to me is on the same boat. Um, if a woman doesn't want to have children, she can elect to have that surgery. The minor one is having her tubes tied. The major one is having the hysterectomy, which she's right. It is expensive as shit. Um, unless there's a life-threatening issue that comes with it. But regardless of that, in my head, all of that is in the same boat because they're allowing children right now to get these little surgeries because little Timmy feels like he's actually little Jane, and they're letting him take these pills to flip his chemistry. They're allowing him to go have this surgery. And mind you, they were letting these kids have these surgeries early as shit. Um, up until what, last year or middle of last year, where they were like they have to be a specific age now in order to even be considered to. But they don't do that with women. They don't do that with women who want to have their tubes tied at 20 years old. They're like, oh, well, no, we're not going to do it. They don't give them a psychological profiling. They don't talk to them, ask them why or anything like that because they don't care. It's always going to be a form of control. And in my head, men will always have something to do with a child being born. No, it's never going to just come down to women. It's never just going to be a woman's conversation because she didn't make it. She incubated it and brought it here. He made the child and she held on to it for 9 months and brought it here.
Uh,
And that's work.
Your
That they
two
both did
minutes.
work.
Your
All
two
right.
minutes.
Hey,
Your
it could
So
be
now
two
let me
minutes, it could
so
be
now let me
five
say
hours,
something.
but
Let
I
me
know
say
that
something
nigga
here.
spent some time to get some
But you ain't
ass.
pushing for a minute, man.
You know what
Let me
I'm
get
saying?
mine.
He was
All
just
right,
can
all
I
right.
go?
Now.
Yes.
I mean,
Damn.
everything about goddamn hysterectomies and all this. What happened to just simple birth control, man? What happened to that? What happened to goddamn the
All right,
teeth
man.
in
I
the
think you
back
was
of the
gonna answer
arm?
the question, bro.
Well, you got to
Huh?
remember, we live in a Western civilization where there has to be 45 different forms of birth control,
Okay, well,
and that's
No,
one
but
of
I
them, and that
think
don't make
oh,
no damn sense to me.
Can I
hold on.
go?
Hey,
you can go
you had
after
your
him,
time, brother.
but
Yeah.
I paused your time. Go ahead. You got 150.
Nah, I don't need that damn long. What I'm
All
saying,
right.
what happened to motherfuckers? Hey, how come I hear Neo in the goddamn background? Who the fuck is that?
Is that I
Okay.
know
Now,
it.
anyway, so what happened? What happened to just regular birth control? Do any of you women did any of you women ever get the little T shit that they put in the back of your arm?
no.
IUD.
The IU, I think they call it the
The one
Yeah,
that
IU.
be
I
in
that's
your
Yeah,
think
it's the
arm.
the
IUD, the one that get in the arm.
it's the IUD.
IUD.
It goes
Hey,
in your
I
arm. You
thought
gonna
that
be
shit worked.
tighten
I
it.
thought that shit. I thought most women said, yeah, that shit worked the best.
It has some side effects.
Okay, well, hey, s-
And then
hey.
here's
But I
another
do.
thing they don't tell you about birth control. Here's
Now hold
another
on,
thing.
hold on, hold on,
They
hold
don't.
on, hold
Wait,
on.
wait, wait. Let
But
me
I'm
get it. I ain't
saying, but
You
got
why
my
would
you
you?
business
wasn't
Why
part of
right.
would
the
you?
conversation here.
Why would you even risk a surgery to get your goddamn tubes mutilated to not have kids? I don't get that.
Can I say something?
Go
Damn.
ahead, Cron.
Yeah,
Let
I'm
me get
done.
you
Oh,
too. Let me
damn.
get
I ain't even
Well,
had to say I was done before somebody told me I was done. Okay,
well,
thank you.
you was
he
already
was
done,
done.
man. You ended it
Go
with
ahead and
the
say something.
Yes,
Well,
let the third lady of the panel. There's only
yeah,
And,
three
no,
of
let her
us.
say
Let
something. She
her
ain't said
no,
nothing.
and then a nigga gonna damn. Hey,
go, Cron.
I love y'all though. Y'all my people. Y'all just
Go
wicked
ahead,
as fuck.
Ikran. Go ahead,
We
Ikran.
love you too.
No, I'll let him finish.
Get two start.
Go ahead,
Is that
Ikran.
You gotta speak
Talk
to
and
her.
cry.
okay? So it's kind of it's odd that the majority of conversation is coming from a man's point of view and we're just listening. um First of all, you guys don't know the yes, we carry it for 9 months. It's a lot of struggle. A lot of women, sometimes some women don't want to have children due to a lot of circumstances, and only they know. So for the whole government to be like, okay, you can't abort, or the surgery and all that is money. I'm in a different country. I'm in Canada, so therefore, like, everything is free. I can go down and abort at any stage without the consent of a man. So like,
Mm.
and I can get the surgery and it's free. It's covered by healthcare. So when I was in the States, it was a little different because there's a lot of rules and regulations, which I'm not familiar with. But I think that women should have rights to their own body. It's a lot of work, and having a child and taking care of a child, all that, especially if you don't have help. Some women don't have the mental capacity to do it, so therefore they choose to abort. Some women have medical conditions, so therefore they choose to abort. Some women are in domestic violence, so therefore they don't have any support, so they choose to abort. So every circumstances and every woman that goes into the abortion like clinic, there is a reason why she's doing it. I don't think any woman just woke up one day and be like, I'm gonna abort my baby just because I don't want to have a baby at all right now. I've never.
But she woke
That's
up
just
wanting some damn dick
Girl,
though.
that's your time, boo.
Bruh.
All right, can I answer the
Damn.
question?
No, come on, we gotta be for real now.
I want next. Well, when just give me a minute when y'all done. Tell me when it's my turn.
okay.
She
Somebody got
don't
to answer
want
the
a
question.
baby, but she wanna get damn sit on the dingaling and shit. Come on now.
Oh my lord.
Listen, a lot of people.
Why,
Oh,
why his mic so loud?
No, cause I'm a grown ass nigga. That's why.
I don't know. It's not. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing Maurice. I ain't do it. It wasn't me. That's just how his mic
Come
do.
on, y'all cats gonna sit here and talk about some? Nah, well, it don't matter. I mean, she can fuck who she want to fuck, but if she
I
get pregnant, she can kill the baby too. Shit, it's her prerogative. Are y'all serious?
what I'm trying to say is, it's not as like simple as that. There's a lot to it. Every woman is different in why they choose that path. So you're just like, you're stuck on one area, which is like, oh, she doesn't want to have the baby, so therefore she's gonna kill it because she just woke up one day and she's like, I don't want to be a mom. No, there's a lot. It's hard being a mother. It's hard having a child. If you don't have that responsibilities and you made a mistake, or there's like medical reasons, then you go and make that decision. And even when you're making that decision, it is the hardest decision, regardless of the age and regardless of the situation.
Yeah, I got you.
So,
I understand.
and the procedure itself, it's hard. I've seen women come out and like have meltdowns and regret, and like it's not the best
Yeah,
procedure to go and get it done.
they should be
So,
distraught after. Look, you done went in there, got your
okay.
procedure, and then you see your little baby arms, baby legs, baby head on that little table. You like, damn, that was my child. Okay, yeah,
All right.
you
However,
should
wait,
be
let me
So
distraught.
just finish. However, I think there should be a cutoff. Like, if the baby has, like, let's say a heartbeat, if the baby has all, like, it's fully developed, I think there should be a cutoff if it's healthy. And I think at that point, we should give support to the mother in order to bring the child into, this earth, right? But if she doesn't have support, and let's say she's in an abusive relationship, then you're creating more harm to the child and to the mother. So
More
it's
harm
like
than death.
every situation is different. That's what I'm saying. We cannot
Right.
we can't categorize every woman. Okay, I'm
I
done.
got
You
a.
can go, Jessica.
Who,
Okay, check this out.
hold on? Who said that?
Yeah,
More harm than
Jessica
death?
would have been
Jessica,
waiting
it's
Can
for
on
I
the
go?
Jessica.
longest
Can I
It's on
go?
time,
Jessica. It's
and
on
y'all
Jessica.
just been, overseeing my girl. No, let Jess go.
Okay.
Okay,
So
everybody heard the
But,
sister
you
say.
know,
listen, no, no, no,
let me
no.
know when
Hold
I'm
on.
up
Cause
though.
wait, cause y'all look, most of y'all are men on the panel, and y'all actually gonna like what I'm about to say. Here's the thing. I don't think that we're talking about the anomaly. We're not talking about the rape victims. We're not talking about the medical procedures. We're not talking about those. At least that's how I'm taking this conversation. I'm taking this conversation as, you know what? It's Tuesday. I fucked the old boy on Sunday, and I don't even know his last name. And I got a career going on for myself, and I'm just not ready to do this. Those are the type of abortions that most people are against, and those are the numbers that are the highest. The rape statistics, the incest statistics, the medical statistics are the lesser than what people in America, I can't speak for Canada, but for in America, yes, a woman will go get an abortion on Tuesday and be back in the club on Wednesday. It happens
Hmm.
here more than we like to recognize. They use it as a form of birth control. So
Mhm.
we're
Yep.
not talking about oh my God, there's something wrong with the child. We need to save the mother's life, or, the
Right.
child's not going to be viable after birth. So we need to go ahead and just save them that heartache. We're not talking about those abortions. We're
Yep.
talking about I fucked the nigga after I got fucked up at Waffle House and went to the room, like Timotheus was saying, and now I just don't want a baby because I don't want the responsibility. No, you should have thought about that before you laid down unprotected. I don't give a damn if you're drunk, whatever. You should have thought about that before you did that, and that's on the
Hmm.
woman and the man.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah. And real
All right.
quick, y'all, Mugabe was going to make a
Come on,
third
man.
point.
We got a line, right?
I was just saying Mugabe was going to make a third point. He never got to make it. Damn, but y'all
Yeah,
go ahead.
no, I understand. You know how it goes. It's okay. But the only thing I wanted to say, but thank you, Paul. Appreciate that looking out for me like that.
He
But
just was like, I just
what
said,
I
fuck
wanted to
Benny,
say
shut.
is when we take a step back, when we take a full step back and just look at historically, there's got to be some correlation to what I'm about to say. Prior to Roe versus Wade, when abortion was flat out illegal across the nation, the 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 children out of wedlock rate was extremely low. Post Roe versus Wade, when we go into this, abortion, however, the out of wedlock child rate has gone through the roof. There has to be a correlation to that. Now, if there is a correlation to that, we have to say what do we want? Do we want these women to have some type of autonomy over their body? So if they want to go out there and have sex, they're not strapped with being a mother and they don't want to be a mother? Or are we gonna try to force these women to be mothers and they didn't want to be a mother to begin with? The father didn't want to be a father to begin with, and now you got a whole bunch of children running around that nobody care for. We already got, as black folks, we already have the highest rate of children in the foster care system. The highest rate of children in the foster care system is African American children, with abortion being legal. What do you think those numbers would look like if we took abortion off the table for some of these women?
Mm,
Come on now, like we gotta start using a little bit of common
Thank
sense
you.
and not let our
mm.
emotions get in the way of this conversation. And with that, I land the plane.
Ooh, and
Good
that was not
point.
there some
That
good.
was a good one.
That was
Mhm.
very good.
Yeah.
Look at the villain being the villain.
Yes,
I got
yes,
brought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hey,
yes.
that was hey,
Panda, panda,
Mudawa. Yeah, that was a little baby
got
Cessna, but
paused
you
for
landed that plane though.
panda.
You cool.
Yeah, man, he just came and did his thing real quick. All
I
right, well,
know, right?
we
Can I get in
really,
now?
but
Now,
it's
No.
two people that has not haven't gotten the
damn,
time
I can't never say.
to
Okay.
talk. You can do, but Maurice was one. Then he done dipped out the call because he couldn't get a word in. So
I
Yeah,
took my time.
All
I'm
right.
gonna go
Let me
ahead
get
and
in
mute myself
She's
now.
so
my
legendary.
hearing
because
is perfect. You.
we was talking about the man. What's the question that we was trying to answer that
We were trying to talk about
this
why they
guy?
don't let women do these things. Decide that they don't want to have babies anymore, and decide that that whether it's a hysterectomy or rather like real extreme
Okay, yeah,
procedures
okay,
that's
I
real
remember.
final and things of that nature, and as far as birth control as well. And Moody thing is like, listen, Moody was saying, listen, let these women dig themselves a grave. Now, I want Maurice to get his opinion and let Vinny have it after. Don't just let Vinny have it after. Okay, Jesus. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Maurice.
no. So the first thing is that the reason why insurance ain't gonna pay for that stuff is because it's an elective surgery. There's got to be something wrong with you. Why is insurance paying for something like there's no other surgery out there
Is he
that
there?
insurance is going to pay for unless there's something wrong with you. It's medically necessary for it to happen, and there's nothing medically wrong with you that it could happen. And that's the other aspect of it too. Like we don't do surgeries on people just because. If that's going to be the situation, well, not just because if you're a fully functioning human being, there's no there's no reason to make you a dysfunctioning human being. That's not an appropriate reason for a surgery. A woman with a functioning uterus at 20 years old wants to have it removed is no different than me going to the doctor and saying, take off my left arm. There's
Uh,
nothing wrong with you. So
Vinny
that
is
I mean that was
next.
the answer to
Dig it.
uh,
huh?
I low key want to
Damn, they ain't even grasp what the
I
brother
low
was
key want
saying.
to disagree with you on that one, Maurice, only because historically our country has proven that they're willing to do all types of surgeries for absolutely no reason. You got to remember the history of our people in the medical field. They did a lot of experiments on us, to us, not for us. And they did that to see pathology. They did that to see what the body could withstand because we're not built like them. We're built completely different. As much as they want to act like we're all humans, we're not. We're not built like them. We're built completely different. We stand different. Our blood flows different. Our hearts beat different. As much as they want to try to bring a logical, oh, we're just like, no, no.
What?
That's why they
You
Oh,
think
spent
what?
more of that?
years.
What?
That's why
B
they spent.
B
What?
But
B.
here's the
I
thing.
think. Hang
Uh,
on. I was saying B. I think what they're talking about is more of along the lines of like when it was federally funded. The argument people were making was why are federal tax money being used to do this termination procedure? Hang on.
oh, okay,
You
yeah.
know.
Because
You know what I mean?
because
So
Maurice,
that's
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Because you cut out on me.
yeah, so it's an elective surgery, just like
Yeah.
breast implants, just like breast implants or BBLs.
And then
Nothing. There's nothing that's absolutely detrimental, unless, like they said, the clauses that they put in there earlier, due to the sexual assault or it bringing the health of the mom, like if she carried this baby, she gonna die, that type of stuff. But before, that's what a lot of the argument was being made, is that Planned Parenthood and stuff like that was tax money being used for people to get the procedure done, because a lot of Morphine was saying earlier, it's expensive to get done, and so they had tax money paying for it when Roe v. Wade was in effect. But now that it's
Correct.
going to the states, now that it's gone to the
so,
states, it's different.
And then
Go
I
ahead.
and
wanted
I
to
was
I
just
wanted to
gonna
We got
add,
clarify.
it
you there.
depends.
Right.
I
I
wanted to
was just gonna
clarify real
add,
quick.
it depends on your insurance too. So, and unfortunately and sadly, a lot of us don't carry great insurance. We
Yeah.
don't. Some people don't even elect insurance. They rather have that money on their paycheck rather than to pay for the better insurance. And Morphine could tell you, like my foot, I had surgery on my foot, a raggedy ass foot. It cost $112,000. I didn't have to pay a penny out of my pocket for that insurance because my husband had the top insurance. I didn't pay for any of my children's birth because my husband had the top insurance. And a lot of times we don't even elect that. So
And then I wanted to clarify real quick. I was the one that brought up one of the anomalies as far as right. What we are talking about though is the regular females that just be in the club, go sleep with James,
yeah,
and they don't know shit about each other, but they just decided to go in there unprotected, and you know all of a sudden she's at the abortion clinic, in the next 2 weeks trying to get it done. Like the anomalies should be the numbers that the issue they should be the standard. And what I mean by that is if women were getting these abortions, they really should reflect health issues. They shouldn't be reflecting, oh, I'm just trying to get back out there. You know what I'm
hmm.
saying? It shouldn't reflect nothing like that. All that shit is cosmetic. So yeah, my bad, Maurice. I low key agree with you, bro.
Can I? May I say something, please?
Yeah, we getting
And
the last
and
remarks out. Go ahead.
all right. And I just want to say this to all of the men that's on the panel right now, all of the men that's listening, all of the men that's going to listen in the future. If you are anti-abortion, as many men are, strangely, as many men are, knowing that you don't carry the baby, knowing that you don't have a physiological responsibility for that baby, meaning you bust a nut and at most all you gotta do is take care of the baby once it's born. With that being said, as men, it seems a bit odd to me that a lot of these men are anti-abortion, but at the same time, we don't see these same men lined up to go get alive and well black children out of the foster care system. So before you sit up here and try to tell a woman what to do with her body, go down to the foster care system and go get one black boy or black girl out of there that's alive already. Until then, you're just really running your mouth. Let these women do what they want to do. We've got thousands of black children that need a good home to go to. You're trying to force this woman to be a mother, but you letting babies sit there and just sit on the shelf, so to speak. Do the right thing. Then I might be able to listen to you. If you say, hey man, me and my wife, we adopted 3 kids and we're anti-abortion. Hey, I salute you, King.
Yeah.
I salute you, Queen. But other than that, you don't have a dog in the fight, brother. Fall back and let these women hash it out. And I land the plane.
You've been landing planes. Shit.
That's
The rumor bells. Let Zoo
Yeah,
his
so what up? Hold on,
so
hold
I
on.
want to
My bad.
dialogue
I
with both
accidentally
of them.
dropped. I accidentally. Oh, did somebody have their hand raised? I could fall back
No,
for a
no,
sec.
no. I gave the floor to you. We had the last
All right.
remarks.
Now, from what I heard, what the brother said, which I don't really understand what you said. What you mean? Don't make a woman be a mother. I mean, what else is she gonna be? I mean, that's like saying you can't be a father. A nigga don't want to be a father. Be like, yeah, go kill that baby. Yo. I don't care.
Listen,
You said that's stupid.
That's
Who
your
said that's
last
stupid?
remark?
No, no,
Oh, okay. That's your
that's not my
rebuttal.
last
That's your
remark. But I'm
rebuttal.
saying that's my rebuttal to the brother Mudawa, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to say that, hey, who are we to tell a woman what to do with their body? Nobody's trying to tell them what to do with their body. We're trying to tell them what to do with the child. Now, if y'all niggas is out here talking about, I don't give a fuck about no goddamn baby, kill it. Is that what y'all saying?
I will leave the floor open for a debate. I mean, for a rebuttal.
Nah, I want
The five
somebody to
second.
respond to what I just said.
He needs to respond. Is that what y'all saying?
I'm literally saying, brother, that as a man, you have no physiological connection to producing a baby aside from your semen. You don't know what that woman is going to go through emotionally or physically to bring that baby into life.
That
So,
still does not mean kill no
may I
child.
finish? Can I finish?
No, look,
Can
we
I
going
finish?
back
Can
and
I
forth,
finish?
man.
Can I? This ain't back and
You
forth.
know,
This
you
ain't
say
back and
something, I
No,
forth.
say something.
This ain't
you
back and
asked
forth.
for a response. You gotta let him respond.
Yeah, you gotta let me respond, brother. You asked for this.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I
did.
asked
You
for your. I
wanted
did. I
somebody to.
asked for
You
your
asked
response.
for this.
You
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 asked
asked
for
for
wanted
this.
this.
anybody. You
Now,
got it.
and I'm saying to you in no uncertain terms, if that woman does not want to, if you so adamant about life, if you so adamant about babies, you so adamant about taking care of the babies, go down there and get some of them babies out the foster care system, sir.
Oh, okay, now let me
Go.
respond
That's
to
what
what
I'm.
you
Hold on.
just
Hold.
said.
I'm
Now,
not
now
done.
this
I'm
nigga,
not
hold
done.
on. This
Wait, wait,
nigga
wait.
is
Let
for.
me
This
say
nigga
this.
is for. He's for abortions, but he's pro adoption. I don't get it.
I didn't hear that,
I
but
got I got a
Tim,
question. I got a
He
question.
Tim,
literally said,
Tim,
"Won't you go down there and get one of them babies?"
Tim, Keisha, y'all punks. Y'all scared to use the mute button. I use that motherfucker in a heartbeat.
Hey, we letting you know everybody get their thing out.
I
They
Hey,
would
Paul,
use
who's
that
supposed to be
mute
muted
button.
though?
he got a rebuttal. Dang it, this is my last little 10 minutes. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. So I mean, talking about adoption, have you adopted any children?
No,
That
I
was
haven't.
literally my
No,
Oh
I
question
yeah,
haven't.
because
he don't practice
No.
what he
because
preach.
Listen.
I'm a
Listen. What I'm
because
saying.
I'm a
Listen
because I'm
carefully, bro.
no.
Listen carefully.
It's just
Listen.
a it's
You
no
asked
listen.
me a
Hey
question, and
Hey,
I'm
listen
why he
answering
listen.
the
can't talk,
question.
Mudawar?
You
It's just
asked
a
the.
yes or no question because
Was
I have
that or
something to
was that
say
a?
right after that.
Okay, so it was a
It was a
rhetorical
question.
question.
Have you adopted any
You didn't
children?
want to answer. No.
Okay, so my point is that is most people who are trying to create a family, most of them don't think about going to adopt. They're literally doing the work together trying to create a family. Usually adoption is one of the last resources that people use when they're trying to create a family. So saying that off top when most people are literally putting in the work together to create to create their families, it doesn't make sense to me. And then at the
That's
same
a
Yeah,
that's a
time,
straw man
and then at
argument,
the
brother.
same time, no, I'm just keeping it 100. And at the same time, uh, most men and women are not trying to take care of somebody else's children because you got to remember, man, bro, you might be dealing with somebody else's crazy that you're not prepared to deal with. Like you
you don't know
sitting
what
there
you're
and you're
talking
like, man,
about.
my
I
wife
want
is
to
kind of
respond to
crazy
you.
and I'm kind of crazy.
All right.
But
We coming
My
up
but
on the
none of
kids is
three.
that.
kind of
We coming up
my
on this
kids is
3 hour
gonna
mark,
probably be
y'all.
kind of crazy.
But
We
that's
coming
But
up
you
on
that
the
want to
has
three.
sit there
nothing
and
to
you
do
want
with
to
what I
adopt somebody
said, though,
else's
brother.
child,
That's a straw man
but
argument. That
it
has nothing
Good,
to do with what I
we
said.
don't got enough time for everybody to be long-winded thinking in these
Right. We
rebuttals.
coming up
Damn
on
it.
this three. We coming up on this 3 minute mark. When we get through this closing, everybody just stay where they are, and we can keep this backstage open, and we can continue the conversation.
All right,
So,
cool. Good dialogue, y'all. Good
all right.
dialogue.
So, what my closing remark is I still stand on the title of this show. I still stand on abortion is discriminatory against men. That's been my whole thing. It 100% takes the rights away of a man, whether or not he wants to be a father or if he wants to, you like the example I gave earlier, not let this mistake ruin the rest of his life. That option is not there for men. The example I gave earlier, I don't know how long you was listening, Mugabe, but it's like if two Harvard law students, male and female, they're Harvard law. They go to a club, they meet each other, they get faded, they dancing and bumping and grinding, they go to the motel. They are equally both being reckless. Weeks later, she misses her cycle. That girl, that female can go in her support system, her mom, aunties, homegirls. Girl, don't let this mess up your whole life. Don't let this take you off your path. Blah 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 blah. She can do that, but he don't have that same option. If that woman decides she wants to keep that, he can't go in his circle of homies and his daddy and his uncle and be like, "Don't let this ruin your path. You sign away your rights." Or that's not available for us. It's
Right,
discriminatory, and that is
right.
discriminatory to us in that fashion.
Okay, can I
And I
give a
land
closing
the plane.
remark?
And I
Can I
land the
give
plane.
a closing remark? I
Everybody got their
stand
closing remark. Don't no rebuttals.
right. This is my closing remark. I stand on what I said initially. Men, if you don't want children, do your due diligence to protect your seed. You won't have to worry about what choice she gonna make if she gets pregnant. Protect yourself. That's all I can say to you. And I'm gonna promote protection. Protect yourself. Stop crying about what she can do when you can prevent the shit from the beginning.
There's that. There's that.
All
Mm.
right,
Okay.
next
I want to.
person.
I want to go to the next person that hasn't said nothing. Like really, really, all
Yeah,
show.
Dedrick,
Dedrick,
absolutely.
Dedrick, what is your closing remark? Dedrick, are you there, sir?
He might be asleep.
He probably stepped away. He probably stepped away. Vinny, we know your closing remark. Zoo, we know your standpoint.
Nah,
Blue,
no shit. I ain't even saying no closing remark, but okay, sis.
Dedrick, you back, Dedrick?
Yeah, I'm back. I apologize. I had to step away for a minute.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we want your closing remarks so we can end the show. Zoo, I'll give you your closing remarks. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, the only thing I wanted to say was I don't feel like women should be using abortion as birth control, but and everything, because some do. Some are very reckless with it. And of course, we're not talking about in those extreme cases of incest and rape. We're not talking about that. You know what I'm saying? We're just talking about the fact that some people are reckless. And I do feel like the responsibility should lie on both. In that, don't make the decision to put yourself in a situation that is conducive to getting pregnant. And if a woman has no desire to, I don't give a crap if she has desires to get pregnant. You need to vet the men that you get pregnant from. You can't call the guy a deadbeat and all this other stuff like that if he was never set up to be an upstanding dude and responsible father from the beginning. You can't sit there and then say, "Oh, I'm the victim. Pay me my money." Listen, you have to be responsible. Men have to make better decisions about who they skeet in. You know what I'm saying? You can't be out here just spreading your seed all over the place irresponsibly. You can't do that. That's not what men do. Notice I said men. I have emphasis on men. I ain't talking about dudes. I'm not talking about boys. I'm talking about men. You have to make a conscious decision on what you're going to do and how you want your legacy to be spread, not by some random chick that you happen to, hook up with. No, if you just hooking up with somebody, do the hooking up things. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself. That goes for men and women. Protect yourself. So that way you're not sitting there placing the blame on somebody else. The blame falls upon you, men. The blame falls upon you, women. Protect yourself at all times. If you're not in a position in life where you can be a responsible parent, there's no manual or booklet about being a parent that could that pertains to everybody, because every situation is different. You understand? Every situation is different. So you can't use a broad stroke on anybody. But I will say, you have to be responsible for your life choices and the things that you do, and be accountable for them. If you're going to pop a baby, be accountable for that. If you don't want anything to do with the baby, that's your own choice. But guess what? That child ain't had nothing to do with your decision to go out here and be reckless. That child should not be made to pay for your mistake. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say about it.
Zerubbabel.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you coming
Make it
back to
short.
me. Hey, but this
Make it
this
short.
brother right here, he said every single thing I was gonna say, man. I hope everybody was listening to this brother. I don't even know him, but he said everything. That's exactly 100%, man. So I ain't really got no follow up.
All righty. Vinny, do you have any last remarks? You done?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, this shit is out of hand. We just gotta do better. That's all I can say. Because me as a man, I'm doing my best. I can't make no excuses about nothing. All excuses do is expose myself, and I don't got time for that. I gotta make them shit to a strength, not a weakness. This abortion shit and how it lines up with our civil rights, it's got to be fixed because It's not helping. It's not helping nobody. It's really not. It's creating more problems than it is solutions.
Mm.
Way more problems.
Alrighty,
But I'm
sweeping
done.
on to Akron. Do you have any last remarks? Last
My
comments?
last remarks is we need to educate our young sisters coming up, and as well as our young brothers coming up that are embarking in sexuality and desires and all that. Um, I think we need to leave alone what women do with their own body is their own choices, and that's it. I don't think men have a say in this when it comes to women's body. I think every woman should make their own choices.
Mm-hmm. Well, Paul, I'm gonna shift it down to you. Any last? What's your last comments? What you got to say, hon?
I already said it, sweetie.
Oh,
Protect
all
yourself.
right. Protect
Protect
yourself.
yourself, fellas. Ladies, protect yourself. You won't have to worry about having this goddamn discussion and crying about, well, I should have a right to say no, don't have it. I should have a right to protect yourself. You don't want a baby? Protect yourself, nigga. You won't have to cry about it.
All right. Well, sis, I'm the last one. I will say my remarks and I end the show on that. I went last to treat strategically
Right.
because I know I'm gonna say.
Real quick. I don't have to cut you. If you guys want to keep having this conversation after the end credits,
Mm,
just don't hang up. We're gonna be in the backstage and keep it going if you guys want.
if you want. All right, so I say myself for last because I'm going to say some things that it's going to. I'm gonna let y'all do that in the back chat. I mean, in backstage. I'm sorry. Um, my last comments is this, man. Like I told y'all, it was three things that started this law, this Roe versus Wade thing, because that's the law that we're talking about. Um, it was three things that sparked the flame. But one of the laws that they held it under was the 14th Amendment. And I just found that a wonderful law to, be interested, look into. And I would say this is what I'm going to say that's going to be very controversial. The MRA, the male rights movement, the manosphere, the red pill, all that ish, all of you guys that have a problem with the procedure, and I'm fundamentally bring it upon, say some things like about child support as well. If y'all have a problem with that, you might want to look at within that same law that they use against your ass and see how you can use it against to your benefit and as your leverage. Because if I can see it, I'm sure you can see it. I'm gonna end it there. That's my last remarks. Oh, and it's effed up that your wife could get an abortion and there's nothing you could do about it. Sucks to be you.